The very essence of a collegiate essay, the theme, October Saturday in the gray of the Midwest. The elements, Constitution, tradition, add the spiritual and the spirited. Toss in 80,000 spectators and place them in Notre Dame Stadium. And the Irish meet the Arizona State University Sun Devils, and this could be an A paper. It is midterm time. Hello, everyone, and welcome to South Bend and the Irish and the Sun Devils in a key mid-season game. Well, I know you're a former English major, and boy, they love alliteration when they come down to grading. How about Julius Jackson? There are a lot of J words today.
Yeah, they really are.
Julius Jackson.
Yeah, well, their offense really had their most complete game last week. They didn't turn their interception, didn't turn the ball over. They really dominated the game in the second half, and Julius Jackson was the key. 58-yard pass here to Getherall, and then some very determined runs. And really, the second half, I thought, was sensational for the Irish. 3 long drives at critical times in the game, particularly in the fourth quarter. That 98-yard drive, Dick, really may have turned the Irish season around.
Well, he carried the team, Julius Jackson. He could use some more help. So how about Julius Jones, the freshman?
Now, that is alliteration. There's a lot of it there. Now, this is a guy, every time we come to South Bend, the coaches rave about Julius Jones. And, he's the kind of guy they say can really be special, and they say it every week, but today they are determined to get him 10 to 15 touches today.
And on the other side, Arizona State brings one of the great runners in the West. They know about J.R. Redmond. The nation today will see a truly elite running back.
Well, we were talking to Anthony Denman, one of the linebackers from Notre Dame yesterday, and he said, hey, what do you have to do to stop Arizona State? He said, one simple thing, stop number 21. Easily said, very difficult to do. An 80-yard run here, a great run against UCLA, and a comeback for Arizona State last week. The thing about J.R. Redmond, he can beat you a lot of different ways. He's got big play all over him. In his career at Arizona State, 12 plays of 50-plus in a lot of different ways. So you have to worry about it as a receiver, as a rusher, and as a kick returner.
And at quarterback for Arizona State, senior Ryan Keeley. Keeley took over for Jake Plummer, and when he's healthy, the Devils are tough.
Yeah, he is awfully good. Third year as a starter, but he's battling injured ribs, injured knee. But Bruce Snyder, their head coach, said to us this week, if we can get 4 quarters out of him, we'll score 30 points.
Well, the Irish this season off to a painful 1-3 start, a big win against Oklahoma last week. Coach Bob Davie, he's firing up his troops today. They're trying to get even at 3-3.
Hey, listen, they're just calling us out. They're coming in the stadium just calling us out. Hey, you see what I'm talking
about? We got it straightened out.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Test.
Just fine with you, John. You want to do it the other way?
Test.
Yes. Yep. I hear you fine.
I hear you. Test.
How? Yeah, I can hear Dick fine. Dick, can you hear me okay?
Test.
Yeah, I hear you fine.
Plenty well. I hear you fine.
Yeah, sure do. Thanks, Gonzo. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
you guys got me?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh.
Good luck,
Have
Paul.
a good game up there, you guys.
You too, Paul.
Have
a great
some
one.
fun.
Be sure when he comes in, give me a nudge, because
Yeah, just let us know when those running backs come in, okay?
we're just getting it now. It's a late start.
Arizona State won the toss. They elected to receive the opening kickoff.
They are going to receive.
Okay, then decided to defend the
Deferred?
No, they're going to receive.
Temperature game time weather information. The temperature is 66.
I heard. Yes.
The wind is out of the
Yes.
southeast at 9. The forecast for the remainder of the afternoon, mostly cloudy. Rain is expected to redevelop, probably arriving sometime in the second half.
I'll throw it down the ball, correct?
Can you bring the signal further forward?
Okay.
That's better. Good. Thank you.
We expect rain later this afternoon. Let's go now to Paul Sunderland.
All right, Dick and Pat, obviously good to be with you. And the keys for Arizona State when talking to head coach Bruce Snyder was at the quarterback position. As you already alluded to, they need Ryan Keeley to play 4 quarters. But Bruce Snyder has said part of the problem is he's too tough for his own position. Quite frankly, he's writing some checks his body can't cash. Has some damaged ribs. And Bruce Snyder said he's actually being selfish. He's got to get the ball out. He cannot allow Notre Dame's big front 4 or the zone blitz to get to him. He's got to throw the ball. For Notre Dame, they're also dinged up a little bit. Their top receiver, Rakai Nelson, hurt last week against Oklahoma, will be out a minimum of 4 weeks. So Bobby Brown, who was a little bit sick earlier in the week, who is 100% now, must step up, as will Joey Getherall, 5'7", 175 pounds, who had a huge game last week and a long touchdown against Oklahoma. Back to you guys.
All right, Paul. Arizona State won the toss and have elected to receive. Special teams last week, a disaster for Notre Dame. Oklahoma racking up 229 yards on return, and so Bob Davies made some changes in his special teams, trying to get more beef in at the sacrifice of speed. Sanson hits it low, trying to keep it away from the speedy returnman. This is Delvin Flowers, number 3. He was the star last week on that screen pass for a touchdown of 49 yards that beat UCLA. No, Arizona State brings on the offense. Let's take a look at the Principal Financial Group starting lineups. He's a big, tough left tackle. Marvell Smith, Jones, Williamson, Peters, and Leyva on the front line, all 300-pounders. Keeley, the quarterback. J.R. Redmond, he's a star. Terrell Smith is the flyback. Tariq McDonald and Richard Williams outside, and Todd Heap, a sophomore, has all conference written all over him. From the 35. The give to Redmond. He has 5. He has 10. He has 11 yards on his first carry before Lamont Bryant can make the tackle at the Arizona State 46-yard line. The defense for the Irish: Irons, Weaver, Williams, and Lamont Bryant. The linebackers: Boyman, Denman, and Nix. Clifford Jefferson and Devron Harper, the corners. Cooper and Sanders, the senior safeties. First down for Keeley and Arizona State at the 46. The first throw is complete. Tariq McDonald, who played at the same high school team, Phoenix St. Mary's, with Keeley, their long-time combination. It's another 11 yards, another Arizona State first down.
Well, for Arizona State to win this ballgame, this is their first trip into Notre Dame Stadium. I think they need at least 2 big plays out of J.R. Redmond. And more importantly, I think, for Ryan Keeley to finish the game.
Bruce Snyder, 59-year-old head coach in his 8th season at Arizona State. Here's Redmond trying the short side, and he's knocked down at the Irish 38-yard line. A gain of close to 5. Rocky Boyman, number 30, spearheading the charge, along with Clifford Jefferson.
You know, Dick, you mentioned J.R. Redmond. A lot of people outside the West don't know much about him, but he really is one of the premier offensive players in college football. And he's got the 3 characteristics I think great backs have. You know, he's big, he's fast, and he's strong.
Great feet. He'll be a number 1 draft pick next year. Game 6 on first down. He gets the toss, tries the other side, a flag down. Redmond carrying tacklers to a first down at the Irish 31. Now check the first penalty of the game. Officials today from the Big Ten, and our referee is Dennis Lipsky. Procedure against Arizona State, and it will be the first time the visitors from the Pac-10 will move backward. This is a very impressive opening drive for Bruce Snyder. Both Snyder and Davies commiserating on the starts of this season.
Now look what he did last year against the Irish, 184 all-purpose yards. And, you know, sometimes you think great running backs, you know, put 8 guys up at the line, maybe 9, stop a guy, but you have to worry about him in 4 different categories.
It'll be 2nd and 9 after the penalty. We're mentioning that the 2 head coaches, much expected, and Snyder off to a 2-2 start with Arizona State, and a very disappointing loss to New Mexico State, and a defeat 24-23 to California. Here's Keeley side-arming, and what a catch by the tight end Todd Heap, like a baseball outfielder one-handing it.
You know, Bruce Snyder said he had snow shovel hands. Now, snow shovel hands don't do a lot of good in Arizona, but for a tight end, this guy is a remarkable player. Freshman All-American a year ago. He has a chance to have an All-American type of season this year because he makes those catches as well as the easy ones. Pretty good blocker, but he is a sensational receiver.
Only a couple of yards on the play. It's a 3rd down and 5. Good protection for Keeley. He's going long and out of bounds. No catch. It goes to Tarek McDonald. McDonald open, but the pass carried him off the field of play.
Yeah, and that's a very good point, Dick. You know, the quarterback must keep the ball in the field of play for a wide receiver to have a chance. Now, McDonald has his guy one-on-one. Throw it up high, let him run under it, but keep the ball inside the numbers. Or between the numbers and the sideline. You have 13 yards there with which to work, and he just threw it out of bounds. No chance.
Clifford Jefferson on the coverage for Notre Dame. Here's Stephen Baker, the left-footed punter. Two punters, both Murphy and Baker. Baker gets the high end over end, and he's got too much foot in that one. It goes into the end zone, and that's not what Sun Devils wanted, a 38-yard punt. But just 18 net. The Irish will have it at the 20 when we return. Welcome back. Notre Dame starts at the 20-yard line. Here the offense for the Irish. A big and young offensive line of Black, Jones, Morandi, Gandy, and Teasdale. Jarius Jackson, what a game last week against Oklahoma. Tony Fisher, we'll see a lot of running backs. Tom Lipinski, the sophomore fullback. Joey Getherall for the injured Rakai Nelson. Bobby Brown had the flu this week, but does start. And Jabari Holloway, the big tight end. And out of the shotgun they begin. Jarius Jackson, quarterback draw, and he loses a yard as Adam Archuleta, leading tackler for the Sun Devils, number 40, makes the stop. Here's Arizona State on the defensive side of the ball. Quincy Yancey, Ryan Riley, Junior Iowane, he's tough, a 300-pounder, and Eric Flowers. The linebackers are Unk, what a name for a linebacker. Bates, Archuleta, you've already seen him. Kareem Clark and Courtney Jackson. Jackson, a veteran of 4 years as a starter at the corner. Alfred Williams and Craig Coombs at safety. A couple of key injuries in the secondary. Willie Daniel and Monte Frank's not going to play today. The give is to Fisher, trying to get outside. Breaks a tackle. Cuts upfield and appears to have close to a first down as they mark it right at the 30-yard line.
You know, Dick, last week Notre Dame became a two-dimensional team. It was because their offensive line played real well, and that guy ran for 140 yards. But Jim Jones played the offensive left guard for the Irish, had a great game a week ago. And watch him pull here, number 55 up top. He kind of kicks his guy out, allows Tony Fisher to just kind of hug that block and pick up 11 yards. So good block and pull by Jim Jones. Good running by Tony Fisher.
Ball spotted right on the 30-yard line. First down. As Fisher, the leading rusher for the Irish this year, with Jarius Jackson, the number 2 spot. They'll miss Nelson's 21 catches, the club team leader. From the 30, under center, Jarius Jackson. And the senior from Tupelo, Mississippi, hands it off inside, and struggling for yardage is Fisher, the sophomore from Euclid, Ohio. A gain of about 3. Iowane in on the tackle. He's a Samoan-born, the son of a retired school teacher. Went to Snow Community College up in Ephraim, Utah, and was a teammate of Josh Heupel, the quarterback we saw last week at Oklahoma.
That's where they raise a lot of turkeys, isn't it?
Turkey country,
yeah.
Ephraim. Getting close to that time.
Yeah,
right
sure.
Halloween.
I'm looking forward to that bird.
Second down and 7, Notre Dame. 8 men on the front for the Sun Devils. Jackson trying to throw wide, incomplete, intended for Jay Johnson, well covered by Kareem Clark.
But boy, you're right, Dick. You read the blitz. Actually, 9 guys up at the line of scrimmage, man-for-man coverage in the secondary. An opportunity really to get the ball deep. They expected a safety blitz to try to dump it short, but boy, he had a chance to throw that ball deep down the field.
And actually had a little time. His blockers picked up that blitz.
And here's a down where Arizona State's defensive coordinator Phil Snow said to us this week, hey, on these third and passing downs, we have to come after Jarius Jackson with more than just 4 people. You got to force him to throw the ball on time.
Jackson, shotgun, 3 wides. Again, 10 men on the line of scrimmage, and here they come. Jackson
And they catch him and bring him down for a loss at the 31-yard line. It was Ioane again to make the stop. Number 92. He's 6'4" and 304 pounds, this senior.
And can move, Dick. I mean, this is just what they want to do on these passing downs. Rush more than 4. You know, and then have guys like Ioane fall back. This is Ioane, number 92. He goes upfield and then just kind of falls back. But there are 6, 7 guys blitzing Jarius Jackson. That's their strategy on passing downs.
Joey Hildbold, the freshman punter, has done a good job. 41.5 average. And look out at the other end. J.R. Redmond. He's inside the 25. Beautiful high kick. Redmond at the 29. 35. And finally wrestled down at the 38-yard line by Anthony Denman. 40-yard punt, 9 on the return. They played just a bit over 4.5 minutes of this opening quarter. No score. I like the way I got that 4.5 minutes, a little bit over 4.5. Quick,
It's good. It's very good. I want to tell you. Good job, Chuck.
Okay.
Yeah, you too. Well done, guys. Yeah. Yep. Yes, you know, the all-22 is a good look at that, and that's what they said they were going to do, and that's what they're going to continue to do.
Okay.
And Jim, the other thing, this is, you know, your end zones to my right, I guess. If we see Keeley that kind of throw across his body, this is the kind of the quarter you kind of want to see it, right? Yeah. Yes. It's a slot.
What was the roar for? Was that the Michigan State score? That was kind of a roar that says upset.
What'd you say, Jim? Yeah, I think we just, you know, you pretend you're the free safety looking at him. You try to, yeah, that's the one. Hey, where do you think he's going to throw the ball? I mean, if you see it throwing to his left, a completion to his left, that might be a good shot there. We also have Jim Todd Heap getting off the line of scrimmage, too.
Welcome back to Notre Dame Stadium, and a reminder to log on to msnbcsports.com. Click on a special section, NBC's Notre Dame Central. Pat Heaton will have his analysis, plus player profiles, including a revealing interview with place kicker Jim Sanson, plus video highlights and post-game audio interviews. msnbcsports.com, the official website of NBC Sports. The team from Tempe starts at the 38 and a fumble, and it goes right into the hands of Deke Cooper, and Cooper is tackled at the Arizona State 35. Ball went flying as J.R. Redmond was hit. It popped up and right into the arms of Cooper.
Yeah, it was. There was a helmet right on the ball. It was not Cooper who hit the helmet on the ball, but he was in the right place at the right time. Bob Davie trying to get his team going. Good lead draw there. It was Nix. Ronnie Nix, number 34, returns to the Irish after a couple games missed because of an injury. He gets a helmet on it, and his teammate Cooper picks it up.
So the first break of the game goes to Notre Dame, and Cooper right place at the right time. Those often go for touchdowns. And the tackle made at the 35-yard line. Jackson hit in the backfield as Fisher and driven back hard. Boy, what a good low tackle from Solomon Augustus Bates, the freshman, number 41. He's only 17 years old.
A pretty amazing story. You know, mother's a school teacher that takes his studies very, very seriously. He's a good student, and he's a pretty good linebacker as well. As soon as you see those guards blocked down for Notre Dame, you know it's going to be what they call an isolation play, linebacker on the middle linebacker. So he just kind of steps up, beats the block, makes the tackle.
He's from Moreno Valley, California, Canyon Springs High School. Holloway now. Split left, and the give to Fisher, trying to get outside left, and again a good defensive play. Is coming up to make the tackle was Alfred Williams, the safety from Irvine, California.
Well, when Alfred Williams, your free safety, is that close to the line of scrimmage that quickly, Dick, it tells you got to take some shots upfield.
Yeah, Arizona State really daring Notre Dame to go to the pass.
Well, it's a blitzing, penetrating team. They have 19 different blitzes in for this ball game, so there's some opportunities if you can protect the quarterback for some big plays.
3rd down and 13 for the Irish after the fumble recovery. Jackson from the shotgun. Sun Devils loosen that pass defense. Jackson lots of time, fires down the middle, complete to Brown. And Brown with a first down, driven back to the 25, progress to the 20-yard line, a 19-yard gain.
You know, the last 3rd down, Arizona came after Jarius Jackson. That time it looked like they only brought 4. But it was certainly well protected. Jordan Black, the left tackle, did a great job of kind of, watch Jordan Black, watch how he kind of pushes his guy inside. That allows Jarius to kind of step up. But remember the previous 3rd down, Dick, they came after him. That time it was just 4, and that's what they don't want to do.
Well, first down for Notre Dame at the Sun Devil 20-yard line. Both wide receivers to the right, Javen Hunter and Jay Johnson. And they give up the middle to Fisher, and he stopped right at the line of scrimmage, and they've stifled the Irish running game early, have the Sun Devils.
There's Ioane again, I believe, number 92. You talked a little bit about him, Dick. You know, playmakers inside defensive tackle position are really hard to find. You know, he's 300 pounds, but he really is light on his feet. A lot of good outside rushers, you know, good corners and things. But finding a defensive tackle that can both keep players off linebackers and make plays is unusual.
7 rushes for the Irish, 8 total yards. 2nd down, a long 10. The first time the option, and Jackson keeps to the 16-yard line, a gain of about 5. Brings up 3rd and long. Solomon Bates makes the stop for Arizona State, and Ioane in there as well.
Yeah, once again, number 92 right down here. Again, just kind of fighting down the line of scrimmage. Pretty nimble guy for 304 pounds. Flip it over. Notre Dame, Jarius Jackson is not comfortable pitching the ball. He's much better on their option when he just keeps it. And here's one of those passing downs, too, where Arizona State has to rush more than 4.
3rd down and 6 outside the 15. Fisher and Terrence Howard now with Jackson out of this shotgun, looking, throwing, incomplete, and he had Fisher wide open. Might have had his hand hit or the ball deflected.
No, he couldn't make up his mind. Jarius Jackson knows a missed opportunity. But again, I think a mistake. Again, surprisingly, Arizona State just rushes 4. Great pass protection. Jarius Jackson loves to run from here. Then he's trying to make it too easy of a throw. I mean, sometimes when you have a receiver wide open, you try to make it too easy. Now, you know, a field goal attempt for Notre Dame, which has been a real struggle for him this year.
Sanson, a 33-yarder, keeps his job. He said, this is the time to prove I'm the man. He's got it up, and it is no good. He misses to the right. So Sanson's travails continue. He's now 3 for 8 on the season, plus a couple of missed extra points.
And Dick, you can absolutely see it on his face. Good snap, good hold. You know, he's a good guy. He's trying hard. He's made 3 winning kicks in his career, but he has absolutely struggled. And he may get replaced this game.
So a fumble recovery in Arizona State's half of the field, but the missed field goal and still no score.
Struggled on these. It's not all Jim Sanson. A low snap, little inside, got plenty of height. It just kind of curved right. Might even glanced off the right upright, but he is now 3 of 8. Bob Davie knows this has been a struggle for Jim Sanson. At some point, he's got to make the decision, do I stick with him?
Keeley on a roll, throws complete. And it's to Tarek McDonald, out of bounds at the 28, an 8-yard pickup. A reminder, check out Notre Dame's official athletic department website at UND.com. Live in-game statistics, transcripts of Bob Davie press conferences, all the inside info, football and the other Irish sports at UND.com. Another sellout here at Notre Dame Stadium, 146th consecutive sellout, 80,000 plus on a gray, rather warm day, actually a bit muggy. Rain's coming, they say. Redmond up the middle, finds a big hole and picks up a first down at the 36-yard line. Johnny Sanders from a safety spot, and Deke Cooper to make the tackle.
You know, Redmond It's not just a track guy. You know, a lot of guys are fast, which he is. You know, they aren't really good from tackle to tackle, but he is strong. He's 220 pounds. He can break tackles. Had really an amazing 80-yard run last week against UCLA to get him back in the ball game.
94 yards last year as Notre Dame won down in Tempe against Arizona State, and he had nearly 200 total yards in defeat. Give it to him again. Behind a good block out to the 41-yard line, a gain of 5 more before Ronnie Nix can make the stop. Lamont Bryant with an assist.
You know that block you were talking about was Marvell Smith, that left tackle, number 71, and all 6'6", 314 pounds of him, light on his feet. This offensive line for Arizona State, all over 300 pounds. And they're incredible in their size and the way they can move around.
Got that drive block, and he probably learned that from his mom, who was a bus driver up in Oakland, California. She's quite a driver herself, they say. Out to the tight end, Todd Heap. He stretches close to the first down. Johnny Sanders again with a tackle.
But that's the matchup you want on Todd Heap. You can't put a linebacker on him. While Johnny Sanders is a strong safety, he forces you to put the strong safety on him. The amazing thing to me about Heap, he's averaging over 18 yards, almost 19 yards a catch. I mean, the kind of guy that can get deep as a tight end.
From Mountain View High School in nearby Mesa, Arizona, this 19-year-old sophomore, his high school team won the state title twice. He's a Mormon, and he's gone through quite a struggle for a young guy. Often after the freshman year, they'll go on their mission for a couple of years. He talked with Danny White and Danny Ames down in that area and asked them what he should do, and he made a tough call. He said, I'm going to stay in school and play this year. That's his immediate decision.
Remember, Bruce Snyder said when he was a coach at Oregon, he recruited Russ Francis, and he said, Todd Heap is certainly as good as Russ Francis was for me at Oregon, which is, he was with the All-Universe team, wasn't he? Russ Francis.
I think Howard Cosell had him on the All-Universe.
Well, Heap may make the All-Intergalactic team if he keeps it up.
And 6'5", 232, and room to grow. Just short of the first down, third, and a couple of links on the chain.
Well, they've been pretty good featuring J.R. Redmond. I'd certainly give him another chance.
Terrell Smith is the fullback or flyback. They give it to Redmond, first down, and almost kicked his way free. That was a big tackle by Deke Cooper, because if Cooper doesn't bring him down, Redmond has clear sailing down the right sidelines.
He is a strong runner, J.R. Redmond. Good lead block by Smith, number one, the flyback. Fancy name for fullback, but he's their lead blocker. And you need, when you run the I formation, if your lead blocker can't root out that linebacker, you can't run those inside plays.
Redmond with 43 yards already in this opening quarter. First down at the Irish 45, and a flag flies. You saw the Notre Dame defensive lineman lurch forward. Was he drawn?
Prior to the snap, false start, offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
What we haven't seen yet from Arizona State is a screen, really. They really feature a lot of screen passes, both to wide receivers and to backs. The big screen last week that won the game against UCLA.
All right, back on the Arizona State side of the field, just short of the 50-yard line. First down and 15. And the throw to Flowers is intercepted by Devron Harper. Harper with a pick at the Irish 19.
Devron Harper had a great game last week as a tackler. He starts this game as a pretty good play as a receiver, as a defensive back. He stole that one really from Flowers. I think Ryan Keeley has so much confidence in number 3 Flowers. He says even if he's covered, I'm going to throw it up, give him a chance to be athletic and take it away. It's Grant Irons knocking him down, but Devron Harper makes another nice interception.
The Candy Man, they call him, Devron Harper. Some gummy bears to him tonight for that interception, his second of the season. And a second turnover. Notre Dame with a fumble and an interception, but no score on the board. Julius Jones, the freshman. He gets the handoff up the middle and slams his way to the 25-yard line. A pickup of 6 for Jones, who has had 8 carries thus far this year for 34 yards. They call him Bullet. Bobby Brown gave him that nickname because of his speed, and they said he had an absolutely sensational week of practice.
Yeah, you know, the coaches stood around and just said, wow, about him all week. And, you know, you mentioned his speed. The thing I think they really like about Julius Jones, even though he's a fast guy, he considers himself an inside runner.
Second down, a short 5. Lipinski, a sophomore fullback, and Jones, a freshman tailback. The option and toss, and he's got some room and a blocker. 30. Down the sidelines, out of bounds with a first down after 9 yards at the 34.
Well, that's the first pitch we've seen out of Jarius Jackson in the option in probably 3 games. Well set up. Good blocking on the left side. The lead blocker, Joey GOODSPEED, out in the corner. It was wide open. See GOODSPEED there.
GOODSPEED, who had such a big game at Arizona State a year ago. 4 carries for over 100 yards. And they haven't used Notre Dame at fullback much. That's been frustrating for GOODSPEED. There's Jones' season statistics now. On first down, a fake to Jones, blitz on, and Jarius Jackson doesn't get the help from Julius Jones, and Alfred Williams has the safety blitz tackle.
There is a lot of alliteration, just like you said. But, you know, when Arizona State is blitzing, they're much better off coming after Jarius Jackson. And they're not just passing blitzes. He can have run blitzes. 19 different packages up here. You're going to see the blitz. Comes in late. That's the free safety of Williams. Unblocked, nowhere for him to go, and I think if they're going to slow down Jarius Jackson, they need to continue the blitz, particularly in passing downs.
7-yard loss in the play, second down, 17. The toss to Jones, and he's knocked out of bounds by Craig Coons, the junior safety from Redding, California, close to where those sticks are at the Well, going to mark it at the 31-yard line, so only a gain of 3, so it'll be third down and close to 14.
Well, you know, the last 2 third downs, they only rushed 4 guys. Talk about Arizona State. The first third down, they came with a blitz and really got to Jarius Jackson. So they need to rush some of these guys.
Tony Fisher in for Julius Jones. Fisher and GOODSPEED each side of Jackson. Here they come, scrambling, throwing incomplete. And no flag. There was a man in the distant area, Dan O'Leary, the tight end.
Well, they've had success blitzing. And again, I think until Notre Dame can figure out a way to counteract that blitz on those passing games, Arizona State must continue to do that.
Now Joey Hildbold comes in to punt, and he's kicking to the man who last year was 10th in the nation in punt returns, J.R. Redmond, averaging almost 14 yards a return. Wobbly kick toward the sidelines. Redmond fields at the 25, hit immediately by Tony Driver. No return for Redmond on that one. A good 44-yard hanging punt, and Driver quick downfield to make the tackle. Timeout here at Notre Dame with 3.5 minutes remaining in the opening quarter. The Irish and the Sun Devils, no score. Back at Notre Dame, a reminder looking ahead to next Saturday. What a day of sports action on NBC. First at 12 noon Eastern, Tim Duncan, NBA champion San Antonio Spurs, challenge some of the world's best international teams. It's the McDonald's Championship from Milan, Italy. Then at 2:30 Eastern, the Irish take on USC, 54th consecutive year. Jarius Jackson, the Irish look to avenge that 10-0 loss at the Coliseum to the Trojans a year ago. The McDonald's Championship, Notre Dame football, next Saturday begins at 12 noon Eastern on NBC. Arizona State starts from the 25, no score. Keeley hands off to Redmond, and this time the Irish wait for the star tailback, a gain of maybe 2. Anthony Denman in the middle of that Irish defense, number 39, and talking with coaches yesterday. They say that they're giving out grades. Bob Davie, And the assistant coaches, there's one A so far, and it goes to Denver. Not an A+ yet,
No.
just an A-.
Yeah.
He's got to be a little better on his pass coverage. Tough to
Tough
get A.
graders, yeah.
Here's that screen that the Sun Devils love to run, and doesn't work there as Devon Harper all over Richard Williams.
Boy, Devon Harper has really come on the last 2 weeks. We mentioned, a week ago against Oklahoma, a great tackling game, and it's a tough position, that corner. You get beat for touchdowns. People know you get beaten, and you have to tackle wide receivers. You have to tackle big old backs like J.R. Redmond. I mean, you have to be a real combination player, and Devon Harper has really been very, very good the last 2 weeks.
Harper with an interception here in this first quarter today. 3rd down, a long 6 for Arizona State. Keeley down the middle to that tight end. Boy, what hands. Todd Heap with a diving grab and a first down at the Sun Devil 36.
Like small dogs, those hands. I mean, you just get the ball out in front of him anywhere. He's a big target.
Small dogs?
They're that size. They're that size, like small dogs. Yeah. His hands are that large, Charlie. Coach Snyder called him snow shovel size, but it didn't work in Phoenix. But just
so Huskies, if you're going to keep that dog theme going, right? A couple of Huskies.
They said, the plan is whenever someone's covered, just throw it to Heap. He'll get it.
Did Irons get back onside? No, it's a free play for Arizona State, and Redmond with a couple of yards, but it appeared that Irons did not get back onside, and that'll cost Notre Dame 5. Future Notre Dame opponent Navy giving Air Force a tough game today. Air Force considered a heavy favorite in that. Terrific football Saturday in the Midwest. Michigan, Michigan State, Ohio State, Purdue. Our game here.
Yeah, Central Michigan has who today?
They're over in Buffalo, so
okay.
we can't add them. Yeah. But thank you anyway.
Yeah. Grant Irons, what a great guy. They just need a little more production as a pass rusher.
Now the penalty takes it out to the 41-yard line. 1st and 5.
I'd save those hard counts for 3rd and 5. I wouldn't waste those on 1st and 10 as Keeley did there.
McDonald and Williams to the right. Tight end Heap also on the right side, overloaded right. And it looks as if that left side pulled away before the snap.
Got a little bit anxious. Unbalanced line, as you noticed, and they were going to give up those 5 yards they just gained, I think.
Boy, that was set up for a sweep too, wasn't it?
Yeah, and they brought the tight end over unbalanced.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Bruce Snyder, what a fascinating man he is. We had a wonderful chat out at Tempe a couple of days ago. He's an avid reader. He reads he'll have 5 different books going at the same time. He said he's reading now Walk in the Hindu Kush and The Great Game, which is a political intrigue book of Russia and England and trying to control India. Yeah. He's quite a man. And they give to Redmond, the man to carry the ball, and flags down again.
Seems like the kind of guy that knows what kind of wine goes with fish. Just a
could use him, couldn't we?
Well-educated guy. Fun to be around.
He played at Oregon for Len Casanova and got his coaching start as a Little League coach. Yeah. Casanova said, "You're injured, can't play this year. Why don't you coach?" That's before Sheldon High School. How did he ever get involved with the University of Oregon? That was a good story, wasn't it, Pat?
Yeah, it really was. John Robinson was an assistant coach at
penalties will offset, repeat, first down.
Was an assistant coach at Oregon, and Bruce Snyder was up there for a high school coach clinic and pulled John Robinson aside, said, what do I need to do get in college coaching? And Coach Robinson said, quit your job today, go up to Oregon, volunteer for every job that nobody wants to do. He did it later that spring, got in the Oregon staff, and he's been a pretty successful head coach at both California and here.
And Utah State. Do everything, all the dirty work, be so valuable they don't want to get rid of you.
Nobody wants those jobs.
Keeley firing upfield, and who else but Heap? Cooper fell, and Heap runs right over Jefferson, and Rocky Boyman has to trail the play and drag down the big tight end after a huge gain to the Notre Dame 33-yard line.
Dick, there's an old adage as a quarterback, don't throw the ball across your body unless you're Ryan Keeley. Watch how he throws it. He is really unique and able to get a lot of zip on the ball when he throws it across his body. Bruce Snyder, when he first saw him, said, boy, that's unique. I really want to change him. And he realized how accurate he was throwing across his body and left him alone.
Spot the ball at the Notre Dame 35. Again, Arizona State on the move. No score late in this first quarter. Final minute. The throw is complete to the sidelines to Redmond, who slips out of the backfield, and he appears to have 11 more yards. Make it 12 and a first down at the 23-yard line.
Well, there's some good play calling going on by Dan Cazzetto, the offensive coordinator. A real good mix of power, some play action. They've thrown the ball down the field. And that time, Redmond sneaks out of the backfield. Good play action fake. He was trying to get the ball deep early to Richard Williams. Redmond was really a secondary receiver, so good read, good feel by Keeley.
Arizona State, they get out of the huddle line of scrimmage and they play off in a hurry, don't they? This is Redmond up the middle, breaking tackles at the 15, and it takes 4, 5, 6 Notre Dame tacklers, and they still don't have him down.
You know, Dick, Arizona State has never had a runner lead the Pac-10 in rushing. J.R. Redmond may do that this year.
53 yards in a big first quarter here against Notre Dame as the seconds tick away. That probably the final play of this opening quarter. And 8 yards on first down brings up a delicious 2nd and 2. Quarterbacks and coaches love that. And we'll see just how Arizona State plays it when we come back. That's the end of the opening quarter here at Notre Dame Stadium. Arizona State threatens, and this scoreless tie with the Irish of Notre Dame will return after these words from your local station. Dick Enberg, Pat Hayden, Paul Sunderland, and a goal line bird here at Notre Dame Stadium. At the other end of the field, Arizona State at the 15 of the Irish. A 2nd and 2 as they threaten to get on the board first. McDonald to the right and 4th to the left, and the give is to the power back Delvon Flowers, who was the junior college player in the nation a year ago when he rushed for nearly 1,100 yards and 18 touchdowns at El Camino Community College in Southern California.
Well, he came in for J.R. Redmond, who was sick on the sideline after he caught that pass and took a shot. But Redmond comes back in the ball game after sitting out that one play. Now, this is a first down for Arizona State. They have averaged over 8 yards per play on first down thus far.
Oh, Ryan Keeley sets him up at the Notre Dame 13. Pump fake. Sidearms his throw for McDonald. He caught it, but he was out of bounds. Terrific catch. But the length of the pass took him off the field of play.
Yeah, lost a tuba player over there, I think, Dick, in the corner. But great pump fake here by Keeley. Again, it looks like a slant. He's trying to get the corner to bite on the slant. Then a good recovery, and he had through the ball a little bit too far, trying to get it on Clifford Jefferson.
Look at that catch.
Yeah, second time though out of bounds. You got to keep the ball in play. And watch, maybe that's is that the xylophone? I guess got it.
Oh,
yeah.
I hate when that happens. Tuba, okay. 2nd and 10. Oh, Redmond threw a hole and slams down to the 6-yard line. And, boy, you don't bring him down with just one hit. If Johnny Sanders needed help from Grant Irons, it'll be 3rd down and about 3.5. Call it 4 yards.
That's the reason most mothers don't want their sons to be running backs. Did you see the hit that he took from a Johnny Sanders? Bounces right back up. That's what you hope. You pound him, you pound him, you pound him. You hope you wear him out. Of course, Redmond's thinking the same thing.
Ball at the 6. They need to get to the 2-yard line for the first down. It's 3rd and 4. Keeley on the roll. Throws toward the end zone. Incomplete to Joe Heap, and no flag. Joe Farrar makes the play, the senior from Castleberry, Florida. And Heap, who has caught everything in this first half, that one just a little too low for him to scoop up.
Yeah, and ordinarily you want the strong safety on Heap. Farrar is a linebacker, kind of a wobbly throw. Didn't quite get it out in front of him, but give Farrar some credit for being that close and knocking the ball away at the last moment. Well, that's good play.
So on comes the field goal unit as Arizona State goes for 3. Stephen Baker, left-footed kicker, out of the hold of Keeley, just inside the 15. So this will be 24 yards. He is 4 for 7 this year. It's up, and it is no good.
We have seen a lot of kicks missed in this stadium this year.
That one hit the left upright, I believe.
Whew. Maybe it's the stadium.
Baker,
kisses the upright, and it takes an Irish bounce wide. So both place kickers, Notre Dame's Jim Sanson and Stephen Baker of Arizona State, with a chance to give their teams a lead. But just as we saw Bruce Snyder celebrate a miss in the first quarter, it's Bob Davie able to lead the cheers on the Notre Dame sideline. Still looking for our first points at Notre Dame today.
Dame football is brought to you by Champion, the official outfitter of Notre Dame football. By the Principal Financial Group. For all your goals, plan ahead. Get ahead. By Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. And by Agilent Technologies, dreams made real.
Well, Kevin Rogers right here, the offensive coordinator for the Irish. You see this sheet? This is his play calling sheet. 120 plays on that sheet, and he does have them color-coded. There they are, all 100. You need very good eyes to see this, but they're color-coded yellow and green and pink, and those match the colors on the armband of Jarius Jackson, the quarterback. So there's the pink and the green, and when they can see it on the play, they say 8 green. Jarius looks at his arm, sees number 8 green, calls the play.
Saw one they missed, that 36 right. Whatever happened, just QB sneak. They don't have any that simple anymore, do they?
No.
Everything's a small essay. Quarterback draw. Jarius Jackson finding only 3 yards into that tough Arizona State defense. Solomon Bates and Junior Ioane collaborate on the tackle, and Ioane's been a force. They haven't been able to block him yet.
And Bates, you mentioned Solomon Bates, the middle linebacker. He took on the lead block of the fullback, knocked him down, and really got after Jarius Jackson. I mean, the Irish have featured bare chests and Jarius Jackson on the quarterback draws. There's some guys who don't believe in photosynthesis.
2nd down and 7. Fake to Fisher, and then the flip to the fullback. Goodspeed, a one-handed catch, and Goodspeed, who seems inspired by maroon and gold uniforms. He had a great day down at Arizona State overnight. 15 yards for the fullback.
Good concentration. That ball was tipped. But he kind of cradled it in there with his left arm. Good play action fake, fullback in the flat. Ball was tipped, I think, by Yancey. All 6'8" of Yancey gets in his way, and good catch there by Goodspeed, who's caught more passes this year than in his entire 3 years previous.
That's his 8th catch of the season. 109-yard performance that inspired the Notre Dame win a year ago at Arizona State. On 1st down, they give it to Goodspeed. A little reward for the fullback, but Yancey and Flowers, the 2 defensive ends, pinching in, and they got him in a hurry.
Eric Flowers, number 36 for the Arizona State defense, is a pretty good player too. We talked about Ioane so much, but you talk about gym rats in basketball. This is a gym rat football kind of player. Hangs around the coach's office, watches a lot of tape whenever he's in between classes, likes to talk to coaches. Also not afraid to admit he bowls. He's a big bowler. Got his own bowling ball and shoes and bag.
You know, our director, John Gonzalez, is a great bowler. Best I've ever seen.
Own ball?
Down the middle, incomplete, and through the hands of Javen Hunter as a bullet thrown, and Eric Flowers again applying pressure. Flowers, a 253-pounder from San Antonio, Texas, went to Roosevelt High School, the state champions, and he has 4 tackles for loss, 3 sacks this year, 4 deflections, and he almost grabbed the ball out of Jarius Jackson's right arm.
Well, you know, he said getting to the quarterback is a little bit like, you know, having peach cobbler on Sunday for dinner or for dessert. Yeah, that's what he loves, getting to that quarterback.
And peach cobbler.
3rd down and 9.
Come after more than 4.
Boy, they've got 9 on the line of scrimmage. 10 on the line of scrimmage.
Here they come.
The throw, and open is Brown as they beat it. Kenny Williams isolated on Brown. Did the best he could, but it's 23 yards for Notre Dame.
That's great coaching. Great call by Kevin Rogers. Hey, if you blitz, we're going to make it pay. Everybody's coming. All these guys are coming one-on-one on the top. You throw it up to your 6'2" wide receiver, one-on-one with Kenny Williams, 5'11", and give him a chance. So, hey, they know they got a feel for the game now. Hey, they're going to come after us with more than 4 on passing downs, but we're going to make them pay. And then Jarius Jackson paid as well.
That's where Jackson, who's a very big quarterback at 230+ pounds, able to take the jolt. First down at the Arizona State 37. They didn't get it off. So delay of game against the Irish.
To me, there's no excuse for delay of game penalties. You got to get in and out of the huddle. I mean, they're not sending plays in with players. They're signaling them in.
So snap, delay. Offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
I've never been able to understand, however, Pat Hayden, and you played both top collegiate and NFL football, why young players, collegians, get only 25 seconds to get a playoff, and those old veteran pros get 30 seconds.
Well, they're younger. They can get to the line of scrimmage faster. That's the reason.
Now I know.
Oh, okay.
So at the 42-yard line. There's so much information that just goes.
Hey, I'm great at Christmas time for parties around Redmond.
Jackson trying to run a first down, and he finds Brown open, breaks the tackle at the 20, and it's a touchdown, Notre Dame. Jarius Jackson and Bobby Brown breaking the tackle made it happen.
And good coaching, good call by Kevin Rogers. They went right after Kenny Williams, number 5, again. A moment ago, they threw it, and Bobby Brown caught a nice pass. This time, they go right back against Kenny Williams, misses what should have been an easy tackle. But great hustle by Adam Archuleta's not enough.
And now the extra point try by a new kicker. And the kick is barely good from David Miller, the sophomore from Granger, Indiana. So Miller gets a chance. He hooks it, but gets it through. 7-0. That was quite a drive. Jarius Jackson takes the Irish 80 yards in 6 plays. And the payoff, throw to Bobby Brown. And Brown breaking the tackle with his 3rd touchdown of the season. 7-0 Notre Dame. Jarius Jackson, 6th touchdown pass of the season. He's now at 100 yards throwing today. He's done something no quarterback in Notre Dame history has ever done. 4 straight games coming into this one, 240 yards passing or more. And he has 100 so far in the first half. 7-0 Irish. And Sanson, his job as a place kicker gone, does kick off, and it goes to Gerald Green. Speedy tailback, breaks 1 tackle, but not the second wave, and he's down at the 27. Well, it's interesting that Bob Davie finally feeling he had to go to a different place kicker and let Sanson stay on for the kickoffs.
Well, you know, Bob Davie talked about it for the last 2 weeks, and you know, he gave Jim Sanson lots of opportunities, really hung in there with him and said he was the best guy at practice, but he said if he misses this week early, I think I'm going to have to make a change. And Jim Sanson, he's won 3 games for the Irish over the years, but he realized that may be the last kick he makes for the Irish.
Well, they're really popular, as you could see his teammates trying to bolster his morale there on the sideline. Keeley into the flat. It's intercepted, and that could be a touchdown for a Johnny Sanders. Sanders, deja vu. He scored last year at Tempe.
If you're going to throw the ball in the flat that far away, you've either got to have a lot more zip on it or keep it away from the defender. If your guy gets it, fine. If they don't, it goes out of bounds. It's just not worth the risk for a 5 or 6 yard completion. And David Miller back in to kick the extra point. But again, he's thrown the ball pretty well today. That's his normal throwing motion. But Johnny Sanders just read it perfectly, jumped right on Flowers' route, leads for a touchdown.
And now the extra point try by the sophomore Miller. Out of James Caputo's hold, it's good, and 14-0 as the Irish strike twice in less than a minute. Keeley victimized by a Johnny Sanders, and as fans will recall, it was a big interception by Sanders that sent the Irish out to a 14-0 lead at Arizona State a year ago.
You know, just absolutely read the route perfectly. Keeley couldn't quite get enough on it. Even if he did, he was still well covered.
And so Notre Dame jumps in front 14-0. Well, it was deja vu, wasn't it? 10:48 left in the half.
This Notre Dame moment is brought to you by Champion. In 1994, the Pac-10 Stanford Cardinal visited Notre Dame with Bill Walsh as their head coach. But this game would belong to the Fighting Irish. Quarterback Ron Paulus and Notre Dame led Stanford 10-3 at the half, but then went on to score 17 unanswered points in the third quarter. The Irish cruised to an easy 34-15 win over Stanford. Champion. It takes a little more to make a champion.
Big smiles at Johnny Sanders repeating his effort. Second quarter interception for a touchdown. Last year it made it 14-0. 14-0 again today. Irish scored twice in 18 seconds. Keeley eager to get a chance to return the favor as Sanson kicks it off. High and short. Gerald Green at the 19 has a little alley and across the 35 to the 37-yard line. A reminder, the Breeders' Cup Day just a month away, and tune in tomorrow at 2:30 Eastern for the second richest day on the American Thoroughbred Racing schedule, the Breeders' Cup Preview. Belmont Park featuring the prestigious Jockey Club Gold Cup, Lemon Drop Kid, and Barons among the entries. Should be a great race. Breeders' Cup Preview tomorrow, 2:30 Eastern on NBC, soon to be the network of the Triple Crown.
You know, Dick, if I'm Ryan Keeley, I want to feed J.R. Redmond.
And so it is. Redmond slowed down in the backfield, and it's a Johnny Sanders coming up from safety to hit him high, and down low is Joe Farrar.
The Irish have done a better job the last series really of kind of shutting down the inside for J.R. Redmond. Started the game with some huge holes from tackle to tackle.
Loss of a yard on first down. Second down 11. Derek McDonald to the right. And Williams to the left, and the throw by Keeley to Williams, and he has it for a first down, and a punishing tackle from Deke Cooper. No, he dropped the ball.
Do you blame him? I mean, Deke Cooper just absolutely drilled him.
So Williams unprotected as he was looking back to his quarterback.
Tight throw, and Richard Williams is a courageous guy and a good player, really coming on as a wide receiver, and you know you're going to take those kind of shots. Deke Cooper, 220-pound free safety, got all of Richard Williams.
Jonathan Del Vecchio Cooper from Evansville, Indiana. Keeley down the middle, wide open, and a first down to Tarek McDonald, and a good throw by Keeley. He had a linebacker in front of McDonald and able to get it over his head, and a 26-yard pickup.
How do you figure out Ryan Keeley? Ryan Patrick Keeley from St. Mary's High School in Phoenix. His birthday, March 17th, that's St. Patty's Day, and he doesn't come to Notre Dame.
Goes to Catholic Church.
Yeah, unbelievable. That was a heck of a touch throw to McDonald. High school teammate, and every quarterback has a favorite guy. McDonald is his.
And to give on first down to Redmond, and he's tackled at the 35-yard line after a gain of 3. Lamont Bryant and Devon Harper on the stop. And to add to Ryan Keeley, also on that St. Mary's team was Jim Sanson. They're very close friends.
I think they were friends from 3rd grade on, and as a matter of fact, Keeley used to be his holder when they played in high school together.
Yeah, you talk about strange circles. How about Ken Williamson, the starting center for Arizona State, and the starting center for Notre Dame, John Morandi, both went to Rim of the World High School up in near Lake Arrowhead. There's Heap. Boy, has he got a great surname. He's a heap of trouble, but he fumbles this one, and it's recovered for a touchback by Notre Dame. Oh, my.
3 turnovers in the first half for the Irish. 2 interceptions, and that one there by Heap.
And actually, that's 4 because early Redmond fumbled as well.
That's exactly right. 4 turnovers the first half.
And that's a tough break for Arizona State as Heap, trying for extra yardage, was down near the 10-yard line. Let's see who makes the play. And finally knocked away by Grant Irons, the big defensive end, and then it's Cooper to fall on it in the end zone. And an injured Notre Dame player being attended at the 15.
That's really a hustling play by Grant Irons. You just never know what happens if you continue to hustle. Grant Irons is a defensive lineman. He was upfield, turns around, runs full speed down the field, makes a play.
Able to see the number of the fallen Notre Dame player. And it appears to be a Johnny Sanders, the senior safety, with an interception for a touchdown earlier. Jarius Jackson out to make sure his comrade's okay, holding that right shoulder. Well, this Notre Dame team off to a 1-3 start and very difficult losses against Michigan State, Purdue, and Michigan, where they defeated themselves. At least that's how Coach Bob Davie feels. Turnover, turnover, turnover. And then suddenly last week they started to hold on to the ball, force other mistakes. Now here's the 4th turnover. And actually Johnny Sanders
hit by one of his own teammates.
Yeah.
In that right shoulder, you could see it.
Might have been he went on and made the tackle, but the injury might have occurred 5 yards previous to the tackle. We'll get a report from Paul Sunderland as soon as we get official word. First down at the 20. On the option, Jackson, good toss to Fisher, and Fisher down the sidelines. One man to beat. Finally knocked down at the 47-yard line. Adam Archuleta saved the touchdown.
Notre Dame has made real progress the last 2 weeks. A week ago they were a balanced team, had a counter punch to Jarius Jackson. Today they've finally gotten the option pitch going. 3 times Jarius Jackson has pitched the ball, this time for big yardage to Tony Fisher. They've not been able to do that all year yet. Good block there by Gandy. Good pitch by Jackson right out in front of Tony Fisher. And a hard run by Fisher.
Right foot hit the sidelines at the 45, so it's a 25-yard gain. And now the freshman Julius Jones struggling for 3, maybe 4. Archuleta. Well, when you have Adam as a first name, you'd like to be first, and he is a first in tackles on this Arizona State team. First in tackles for loss and tied for the lead in sacks. He's only 213 pounds, but he runs a 4.4. Probably his future playing on Sunday will be at a strong safety position. A walk-on who's become a star tackler. Adam Archuleta.
And what a hustling play. Even though Bobby Brown scored that 1 touchdown, Archuleta ran 40 yards downfield, almost made a play on him.
Second down and 6. Jackson cuts back inside and now has one man to beat. Jarius Jackson is tripped up as Courtney Jackson, not related, able to hit him on the heels and save the touchdown. But it'll be first and goal, Notre Dame outside the 6-yard line. A 44-yard rumble by Jarius Jackson.
When you blitz Jarius Jackson, and that was part of the Sun Devils' plan, you must take the right angle. Some guys just taking the wrong angle. I think they misjudge his speed because he's so strong and big. He's 230 pounds. And it was a defensive back, Jackson, who really had an angle on him, but it took him a long way and a long time to get to Jackson.
Bobby Brown couldn't quite get there to help him out with a block. So it'll be first and goal, Notre Dame at about the 6.5. And timeout is called by Arizona State. So each team with 2 timeouts left. So Arizona State early, if you're just joining us, had the opportunities in the first quarter and couldn't score. Both teams missed short field goals. But then Notre Dame taking advantage of some Sun Devil miscues, able to score first on a Bobby Brown reception from Jarius Jackson, 42 yards. Then a Johnny Sanders intercepted Brian Keeley, and the Sun Devil end of the field went 28 yards for the score to make it 14-0. 2 scores in 18 seconds. And then Joe Heap struggling to try to get to the end zone, is hit from behind and fumbles into the end zone, covered by Notre Dame. And now the Irish start from their 20, and they're all the way to the Arizona State 6.
When the Notre Dame doesn't beat themselves and turn the ball over, they are a very efficient football team and a determined one.
Well, I think it impressed us when they lost.
Wait, Nick. Central Michigan up 7-0 on Buffalo.
Yeah, but it's,
Flowers, 6-yard TD run at Flowers. He's good. He's my favorite player.
A lot of Flowers here. Eric Flowers, and we got the running back who was the star last week, Delvin Flowers. Yeah. They blossom everywhere.
Don't they? Got him here in the field too, in the stadium.
From the 6, give it to the fullback Lipinski, and he took the handoff and he was hit immediately. It was Ryan Riley, the senior from Yorba Linda, California. Not fooled a bit. No gain.
See, what Arizona State's defense now needs desperately is to create a turnover. And their offense has coughed up 4 in this first half. They need to create one on defense.
Tony Fisher in, Julius Jones out. Now it's Lipinski and Fisher behind Jarius Jackson. The throwback and open. Touchdown, tight end Dan O'Leary.
Oh, is that a good little play? Good little play in the goal line. All the flow going to the right. And Dan O'Leary going away from the traffic and catches the touchdown. A lot of teams run this play down by the goal line. Good call, 6-yard touchdown from Jackson to Dan O'Leary. He's down here. He's just going to delay. All the flow is going this way, though. And you're going to see number 86, Dan O'Leary, come open. He's delaying. There he is, wide open. That's a good call and well executed.
Craig Kuntz trying to hustle over to make the tackle, and O'Leary using the defender's momentum to step into the end zone as the new place kicker, David Miller, able to knock through 3 straight extra points, 80 yards in 5 plays after Heap's fumble, and the Irish now have exploded in this second quarter, 21-0. Heavy exercise at Notre Dame Stadium as they push up 21 here in the second quarter, and there's still 7 minutes 13 seconds left in this opening half.
What do they do on 2-point plays?
They wait to the total. Haven't you been watching? Jim Sanson skids one down the middle, picked off by one of the tight ends, Jason Moore, and Jason Moore out near the 34-yard line. Sunday night here on NBC, the third watch.
Well, I'll tell you, Arizona State needs to get something going. 7:06 remaining here in this first half, down 21 points, and this is where you hope your third-year quarterback, Ryan Keeley, can get something going.
And they give to J.R. Redmond, and Johnny Sanders injured on the last sequence Arizona State possession. Let's find out his state. Paul?
Well, Dick, very good news. Johnny Sanders back in the football game right now for Notre Dame. There was fear that it was a separated shoulder. Took a helmet to the right chest and arm area. It turned out to be a bruised right forearm. They iced it down. Doctors told me they would try to quiet it down and he would return. Obviously, it is very quiet. He's back in the football game. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks for that report. And Sanders, a tough guy at that safety position. Keeley stops, fires, complete to McDonald. And Tarek McDonald to midfield and a first down. A 13-yard gain. Anthony Denman from his linebacker spot trailing the play and makes the tackle.
You know, Tarek McDonald is not one of those prima donna wide receivers. I mean, he'll make plays like this. He'll break tackles. But I think most importantly, what his teammates and coaches really appreciate about him, he'll block. I mean, he'll spring some blocks for J.R. Redmond.
And he's really an Arizona State man through and through. You know, their Sun Devil mascot is Sparky. He even named his pet Iguana after Sparky. Little reverse goes to Richard Williams. Flags are down and out of bounds with a loss of about 6 yards is Williams. They love the reverse. They have a pass off it. They have a double reverse. But in making the hit on the quarterback Keeley, we'll see whether or not that is the foul.
It might have been on. Actually, they may have fouled Grant Irons, the defensive player for the for the Irish.
Push legal hands.
Grant Irons.
44 on the bottom of your picture.
Down here, yep.
And that was a good tackle made by the fullback Terrell Smith. Now this is an interesting call. Do you take the penalty, which would be marked off from the spot of the foul, or the loss of 6 in the down?
Block in the back on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat, first down.
So since it took place from around 5 yards deep in the backfield, it becomes, well, actually almost a 16-yard penalty.
And if you're Greg Madison, the defensive coordinator for the Irish right now, you're concerned and you're thinking about all those screens that Arizona State runs and has run so successfully, and very aware of number 3, Devlin Flowers in particular.
6 possessions Arizona State and 4 turnovers. What do they have here on 1st and 26? Keeley, good protection. Throwing long for Williams. Intercepted by Cooper. Deke Cooper at the 50. Has some blockers now. 40. Picking up more at the 30. And finally dragged down at the 25-yard line. It's a second quarter celebration in South Bend.
Well, for the second year in a row, Ryan Keeley has thrown 3 interceptions. This is his 3rd against the Irish. 5 turnovers in all. Again, just some miscommunication between himself and Richard Williams. An overthrow on a deep ball, well read by Deke Cooper. And, he's reading them the whole way. And Deke Cooper just playing center field. In the baseball playoffs, he'd be a good center fielder.
Joey Goodspeed, Tony Fisher in the backfield. Jarius Jackson trying to strike right off the turnover. He hits Getherall. Touchdown, Joey Getherall.
Well, the Irish haven't had this kind of breathing room since their opening game against Kansas. Every game, Dick, has really been a struggle. A tight ball game. They lost some tight ball game. They can, really exhale a little bit. Up 27-0. Everything is going well defensively and offensively.
David Miller trying to make it 4 in a row as the PAT specialist, and he just does get it up, and it's blocked by Junior Ioane. Ioane with a block, and it'll be 27-0 Notre Dame. Now the Irish with a big second quarter, 27 unanswered, and Jarius Jackson with his 3rd touchdown pass to Brown, to O'Leary, and now to Getherall. So there's the challenge for Ryan Keeley and the offense for Arizona State, down 27-0 as they have been destroyed by their own mistakes. 5 turnovers, and Notre Dame scoring 27 points in less than 6 minutes of the second quarter. And with 5:42 left, again Sanson keeping it low, and once again it goes to Moore, the tight end, and he takes it to the 35-yard line. Jason Moore becoming the kickoff return man for the Sun Devils.
Well, if you're Ryan Keeley, Dick, and believe me, let's go back to that touchdown here by Joey Getherall. Watch the move that he puts on, and the defensive back slips Kareem Clark. But same post pattern he ran last week, but he sells the outside route, comes inside, and a drill shot for the 2nd week in a row by Jarius Jackson.
So Jackson has been working in the deficit since the 3 interceptions against Kansas. Now finally in the plus column with 3 touchdowns today. He's 8 touchdowns to his 6 picks.
Well, his last 3 passes have been for touchdowns. 42, 6, and 25 yards.
The Irish start slowly and using interception, fumble, interception.
5 minutes left in this first half. I think for Ryan Keeley, just think.
He fumbles the snap and has to cover it back at his 34-yard line. Everything going wrong now for the Devils. That'll bring up 3rd down and about 11.
And this is a down he desperately needs a play. Bruce Snyder said if we could keep Keeley healthy for 4 quarters, we'd score 30 points, but the Irish defense have certainly been up to the task.
Swing it out of the backfield to Redmond, and he's across the 40 to the 41, but that's not enough for the first down. It'll be 4th down and about 4. Denman and Sanders make the tackle.
Well, they're thinking about going for it here, Dick.
Now they're going to bring him off.
Okay.
Julius Jones, the freshman, will drop back in the single return position. And on comes the punt team, and I believe it'll be Nick Murphy this time. Murphy, a sophomore from Scottsdale, averaging 41.2. He has a better hang time than Baker, who was the punter last year. Now Baker being used on placements. Line drives this one low and short, takes a modest Arizona State roll to the 22-yard line. 38-yard punt, no return. Tomorrow at 4 Eastern, NBC continues its coverage of the inaugural Gravity Games. What's going to happen this weekend? Well, we know they've got those street luchers. They go about 15 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour, 50. Tackle the treacherous downhill course at College Hill in Providence, Rhode Island. The Gravity Games coverage continues tomorrow at 4 Eastern, only on NBC. And Arnez Battle, the sophomore for the Irish, quarterback from Shreveport, wearing Joe Montana's number 3, and gets some duty now. And they want to give him more and more work, and with a 27-0 lead, this is certainly the time. With Lipinski and Jones, and he says, I'm going to keep it myself out to the 26-yard line and a gain of about 4. Mason Unk, UNCK from Ogden, Utah, the linebacker, makes the stop. There's Jackson's numbers. If he sees duty in the second half, could possibly have 5 straight games with 240 or more yards passing.
I'll be shocked if he doesn't play more in this ball game. But you mentioned Mason Unk too on that tackle. That Mason Unk had a terrific game last week against UCLA.
He seemed to be everywhere. Oh, as Battle meets an Unk.
That is a lot of Unk on you. 221 pounds of Unk.
This'll you can hear this tackle. And to the credit of Battle, he didn't fumble. When you get blindsided that quickly and hit that hard, often the ball goes flying. A loss of a couple of yards.
This guy's a player. You know, he played weak linebacker, middle linebacker. Today he's playing their strong linebacker position.
Lipinski and Fisher. With Jackson now on 3rd down and 8, and flags fly.
Yeah, they had the strong safety blitz on with Alfred Williams, and
to be a procedure against Notre Dame.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Well, 3rd and long, as Arizona State trying to stop Notre Dame, and head coach Davey saying, don't stop ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, I think if Arizona State's going to have really a chance to win this ball game, remind you they had a big comeback last week against UCLA. I think they need at least 1 score before halftime. 2:10 remaining in the first half.
So they trailed the Bruins 21-7 at halftime last week, and won in the final seconds 28-27. They got firepower, but 27 points, a huge deficit now as Battle runs the quarterback draw. We saw what he can do running the ball against Kansas. 74-yard run. Eric Flowers with a sudden stop, assisted by Archuleta, and the Irish will have to punt.
You know, ordinarily you think, hey, let's go after the punter right now and try to get a block, but I think when you have J.R. Redmond as a punt return threat, you let him give it a chance.
Irish letting the clock tick away. 1:30, 1:29. There's no hurry to punt the ball here.
There's 23 seconds left on the play clock. They should wait till it gets down to about 5 seconds.
17, 16, 15, 14.
That's what you want to do there. Joey Getherall, he tells him when to snap it, the up back.
Yeah, that's a good job use of the clock.
Yep.
As nearly 50 seconds will tick off after that last play. Here they come, and Hill Bowl just does line one out of there. Redmond looking for a handle. Trying to get outside and tackled at the 32-yard line. Good job again by the Irish on special teams. As Jason Beckstrom, the freshman, makes the tackle. Reminder coming up, Sun American Halftime Report, Hannah Storm in our New York studios with all the big college football scores today. And we'll take a look at Major League Baseball's division series, including a preview of tonight's Yankees-Rangers game. New York up 2-0. Game 3, a preview, and the football scores at halftime. Handoff inside to Hightower, and number 2 rusher for the Sun Devils, able to pick up about 6.
38 seconds, 2 timeouts remaining. They got to get the ball snapped a little bit quicker here.
Keeley, the quick throw out of the to the tight end heap, and that first down will stop the clock at the 46-yard line. And for Todd Heap. That is his 6th catch of this first half. He had 10 coming in. 26 seconds. Now they start the clock. Keeley out of the backfield. Complete to Hightower. Out of bounds to stop the clock at the Irish 49.
Well, it was kind of a situation last week just like this. Wasn't Dick against UCLA at the end of the ball game, but with 50 seconds remaining, really right about in this exact spot. 49-yard screen pass to Flowers, where he ran through, it must have been 10 UCLA defenders for a touchdown in the win.
Richard Williams, the wide receiver, made 3 blocks. He knocked down 3 guys in 2 separate collisions to free his man for the winning touchdown. Keeley, plenty of time down the middle, deflected but caught, or is it intercepted as they battle for the ball? And they say the ball did hit the ground, and finally rolling up with it was Deke Cooper.
Tell you this thing about Ryan Keeley, he's a confident guy. Ordinarily, you're shell-shocked when you've thrown 3 interceptions. You don't want to throw the ball down the middle, particularly late.
Sanders deflected it, and then Cooper over the back, and
McDonald almost had it. That's not pass interference once the ball gets deflected.
So on 3rd down and 6 and 10 seconds left. Keeley with 4 wide receivers. Throws long down the middle of the field, incomplete and almost intercepted by Jerome Sapp, the freshman from Houston.
That's one of their plays. When everybody's covered, throw it to Heap.
Not a bad thought. So 4th down and a second left, so they just rear back and try to get a deflection or
a penalty. A penalty might be the best kind of play. Then you can't end the half on a defensive penalty. Then you maybe get enough yardage to throw one into the end zone.
Davey says get back. It's McDonald and Heap and Williams all to the right. Richard Williams, number 7 in the slot, is the speediest of that trio. Keeley lofts the ball high, deflected, out of bounds, and that's the end of this first half. So the Irish opportunistic, forcing 5 turnovers and 4 touchdowns in the second quarter to lead 27-0 at the half. The first time this season, first half has ended with the Irish in a very comfortable lead as they look for a 3-3 midseason report card. And it was 3 touchdown passes by Jarius Jackson to lead the way. And let's get the reaction from the Notre Dame coach. Paul?
All right, Coach, obviously the defense has been very opportunistic, but the offense really got rolling in the second quarter after a scoreless first quarter. What adjustments did you make?
Well, I don't think we're playing particularly well right now. You know, we've been very fortunate to get 3 turnovers on defense. Arizona State's moved the ball on us. I'm sure the statistics in the first quarter were unbelievable with Arizona State. We're not playing particularly well, but we've had some guys make some individual plays. As a team, we just have to play better in the second half. You know, we know how explosive they are. So we're not playing well, but we've had some guys step up and make big-time plays individually.
All right, Coach, thanks very much for your time. Back to you, Dick.
That'll never change. Well, head coaches never secure. Doesn't matter what the scoreboard says. They find out some way to go into that locker room and tell their players they've got to perform even at a higher level. Well, the defense certainly sparked the Irish lead, forcing interceptions and fumbles and a 27-0 advantage. So from South Bend, Indiana, we take you directly to New York City. Hannah Storm, the Sun America halftime report. Now the game plan of the Notre Dame marching band. Did you ever play any music?
No, I can't say. I actually tried the piano, but it was awful.
I was a drum major once, but would rather not go down that street. As we start the second half, 27-0. And the kickoff by Mike Barth. And down it comes to Tony Driver at the 10. Driver fights his way to the 32-yard line. Let's take a look at the 2 quarterbacks and compare their statistics. As Jarius Jackson with 3 touchdown passes.
Yeah, and Keeley with 3 interceptions, 2-3 last year against the Irish, and really that has been the difference. Those 3 turnovers, as we said, 5 in all, converted into 20 points, 20 the Irish, 27 points. So You know, what has to happen here now, first of all, the ASU defense has to come up with a 3 and out. I mean, if you want to get back at this ball game, you need a 3 and out, and then Keeley needs to come up with a couple of big plays.
And this is where Notre Dame like to play safe football, keep it on the ground, grind out the clock. Let's see if they can accomplish that. Long handoff and hitting the backfield is Jones, and he still fights his way out to the 37-yard line, a gain of 5 when he should have lost a couple. Kareem Clark, the cornerback, finally bumped him out.
Well, he's got speed, he's got power, and I think what the coaches really appreciate, he's got a great work ethic.
Well, he's got a good role model, doesn't he? His older brother Thomas at the University of Virginia. He's not a bad runner.
Absolutely. 1,300 yards a year ago, Virginia, and this year will set the UVA all-time rushing records. Also has a twin sister at UVA.
She's an athlete as well.
Volleyball player, I think.
2nd down and 5. The toss to Jones, and he's met in the backfield as Craig Kuntz, the safety, slices through. The young man who declined an appointment to the Air Force Academy, went to Shasta Junior College, and then on to Tempe.
One of 13 junior college transfers on the Arizona State team this year.
And 10 of those are in the 2 deep. So they see a lot of duty, and that's part of the Bruce Snyder's recruiting plan.
And here's, we talked about it, 3 and out. This is really a big play for the Arizona State defense.
A 7-yard loss on the last play brings up 3rd and a dozen. And Jackson lines up the throw down the middle. Incomplete to Joey Getherall. Covered by Alfred Williams. And so Arizona State does accomplish point 1, 3 and out.
Yep, first step. You know, take small steps here. Get the 3 and out. This drive, at least get 3 points. You're going to get decent field position. I see J.R. Redmond's not returning the punt.
It'll be Devin Hightower, the junior, Richard Jr. from Dallas, Lake Highlands High School, Richardson, Texas. Joey Hildbold, a couple very close to being blocked in that first half. Low snap, and he gets it away, short. And takes an Arizona State bounce and down at about the 39-yard line, a 31-yard punt. Paul, what do you have for us?
Well, we didn't see one of the best punt returners in all of college football after that last exchange because J.R. Redmond is not feeling well at all. Although he's going back out on the football field now, he had a real face-to-face conversation with Dan Cozzetta, their offensive coordinator. He was nauseous in the first half, as we detailed, tried to get something into his stomach, but I think he went up to Cozzetta and said, I may not be able to play all that much in the second half. Back to you.
All right, Paul. And not in there now as the toss is to Flowers. And a dangerous runner to the 42-yard line. He's 5'11", 185 pounds.
Okay, he scored, what, 3 touchdowns in their 4 games thus far. But Bruce Snyder was talking to us this week about Flowers and said, you know, he's not my kind of tailback yet. He said he's great in open space, and that's what we try to design plays for him, but he's not yet a real overpowering tackle-to-tackle kind of runner like J.R. Redmond is.
You can see from those numbers, when he does handle the ball, he has a tendency to get big yardage. 2nd down, 6. They flank Flowers now left. And the throw is right. Almost into the arms of Clifford Jefferson. Right there for him. I think he was shocked by how accurate Keeley was to him.
You know, it's just Ryan Keeley is not seeing the field particularly well right now. 3-step drop. You know, you got the slant. You have to feel when to throw it past that line. But that was really tight in there. Not only was Jefferson in there, Anthony Denman was there as well. You know, Bruce Snyder has to worry at some point of whether does he need to bring in his second-team quarterback.
Keeley missed his last 5 throws. He stays on the ground this time to Hightower out to the 49-yard line, and depending on the spot, close to a first down. No, not quite. Needs another half yard.
The key thing is get the first down here. Is it 4th and 1? Yeah, they've got to be going for it. Absolutely. Down 27. That's Dan Cozzetta, the offensive coordinator of the Sun Devils. And they need some offensive coordination right now.
And they bring in J.R. Redmond, Joseph Robert Jr., number 21 at tailback. He gets the call.
And he's hit in the backfield, and it doesn't look as if he made it. Johnny Sanders was reading the play, and Redmond all the way, and Notre Dame takes over on downs.
Johnny Sanders and Deke Cooper, the two safeties for the Irish, have had a terrific ball game, as has that man, Ronnie Nix, the middle linebacker. Right in here. Again, good early penetration, finished off by Sanders.
And so, just as it ended poorly for Arizona State first half, they're stopped early here in the third quarter. Wisconsin had a big overtime win.
Oh, my goodness.
I think Mississippi State was down 16-0 and won 18-16.
Now the Chippewas do. Do we know yet?
Oh, they're coming.
They're coming?
And they beat that mighty Buffalo team. You know, the Bills are pretty good. You know, they beat Miami. I mean, then we got to play them. I mean, we had Purdue and Syracuse, and now we got to beat a team that beat the Dolphins on Monday night.
There's a future.
Thank you.
That's great. That's a great shot. That's a great shot. When was his first Notre Dame game? I bet not. They start him early. Oh, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. He's getting squeezed all over the place. Oh, man. Okay.
Is this game going long as usual? Yeah, last week it was like second half started at 4:15 and South Carolina loses again, 30-10.
Ooh, BC lost for the first time.
Yeah. Duke beats Virginia in overtime. That's a huge. At Virginia, Duke never wins, do they?
Yeah, particularly at Virginia.
Okay. If you could only bottle the enthusiasm of the college crowd, and it's contagious, right down the little guys. Linebacker, I think. And Snyder finding nothing pleasant about his experience here on the Notre Dame turf. Joey Goodspeed, Tony Fisher behind Jarius Jackson after the Irish held on downs at the Arizona State 49. Fake to Fisher. Jackson throwing long together all. A step too long. Covered by Courtney Jackson and Kareem Clark. The other all is so much fun to watch is at 5'7" and a tough 175 pounds. And he has really improved, don't you think, Pat, from last year, the running of his pass patterns.
Absolutely. You know, the two post patterns he's called for touchdowns last week and this week, great routes. Really kind of sold the corner route, broke back in, and then kind of the drill shots from Jarius Jackson. Absolutely. The thing I like about Joey Gabriel, this guy is such a courageous receiver over the middle. I mean, that's where they send him most of the time.
Second down and 10. And on the option, Jackson's going to keep this time. And 40, one man to beat at the 20, inside at the 10. Touchdown, Jarius Jackson, 48 yards. What a force Jarius Jackson had. 3 touchdown passes today, and now to spice things up on his stat sheet, a 48-yard run for touchdown.
Yeah, everything is working. Great block by Joey Goodspeed. Look at Gandy, number 69, the right guard, down there escorting him in the end zone, 45 yards down the field.
David Miller with his try for extra point. The last one was blocked by Arizona State. Gets it up, and it is good.
Good hold there by Caputo on a low snap.
Now the Irish continue a big second quarter, and they score early here in the third. Oh, is it a great time of the year with the playoffs, college football, the NFL? I mean, there's so much going on, and all these big men acting like kids, down and disheartened, or like a little leaguer running around the bases after hitting the home run. Sanson drills this one deep. It goes to Delvin Flowers. 15, hit at the 16-yard line, as it was linebacker Carlos Pierre-Antoine from Everett, Washington, Bishop O'Day High School.
Boy, is he good in coverage? You know, we've seen him all year long. Pierre-Antoine, number 2, has made those tackles in the kickoff team.
He's 6'3" and 240. He gets down the field in a hurry. He was the anchor man on the Washington State High School 4x100 relay team. We're starting field position of the day as if things should get, you know, even more negative for the Sun Devils. Keeley stays at quarterback, and the handoff inside the high tower for about 4 into the middle of the Notre Dame defense.
Well, you're down by 34 points. You know, you hope that your quarterback is hot, and you hope that you have J.R. Redmond available. Well, J.R. Redmond, as we've reported, is out, not feeling well, and Ryan Keeley just had plain and simply a poor day.
Another kind of game where Bob Davie, not yet, but we might expect as the second quarter develops to see more of the back up players, and the reserves get some in-game duty. On second down, draw play, does work as Anthony Denman right there. Now, Anthony wanted to make a correction too while we had this opportunity. He said earlier this season, I said that his hobbies were fishing and chilling, and a lot of his friends thought I said it was fishing and chewing. And he said, and you know, not even when I'm fishing am I chewing. And so now we got that straight.
His mother appreciates that, I'm sure.
Exactly right. You don't want to encourage that sort of thing, but chilling I kind of like.
Yeah, can you chill and fish at the same time? Is that possible?
No, that's redundant.
Oh, okay.
And the throw almost intercepted, intended for Todd Heap, and Ron Israel in for Johnny Sanders at a safety spot. Ron, the younger brother of Steve, NFL defensive back, and he makes a good play and almost gets a pick.
Okay, one thing about Ryan Keeley, he hangs on to that ball a long time, and he takes some shots as he did right there.
On to punt is Nick Murphy, a sophomore from Scottsdale, with Julius Jones back at the Irish 37. Ooh, he nubs this one off the side of his foot.
Oh, thank you very much.
And it'll roll to the 48 on Arizona State's half of the field. So great field position for Notre Dame on a short 28-yard punt by the Sun Devils. Murphy. 10:24 left in the third. Back, and two bad things in that picture: the score for Arizona State and the ice pack on the left shoulder of J.R. Redmond, their star running back. He was nauseous earlier, and that injury of a couple of weeks ago to that left shoulder. We saw him during the week in practice, was a little ginger in that shoulder, but wanted to go here at Notre Dame, but it looks as if his afternoon is over. Jarius Jackson still at quarterback. They start from just inside the Arizona State 49 with a 34-0 lead. And the throw wide open is Fisher. And Fisher to the 14-yard line. Kareem Clark made the tackle. 34 more yards for Jarius Jackson.
A phenomenal day for Jackson. 3 weeks ago, people were down on Jarius Jackson, but 2 good games back-to-back, 2 great games back-to-back. He's thrown the ball on time. He's run magnificently, and that was just as Tony Fisher kind of sneaked out of the backfield right down the sideline. They've run this play a couple times this year. Well-thrown ball by Jackson with a lot of oomph on it.
7 for 13 and the 7 receptions for 165 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now Fisher on the sweep left, and knocked out of bounds as he ran behind the block of his big fullback Tom Lipinski. Kareem Clark, the stopper.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised. Obviously, Bob David would like to see another touchdown, but it wouldn't be terribly disappointed to see his new kicker, David Miller, attempt a field goal here. You know, he kicked some extra points, but I'd like to see a field goal attempt out of him.
If you're just joining us, Jim Sanson, the senior, his troubled season continued when he missed a short field goal early And so David Miller has replaced him on the extra points, although Sanson's still on the kickoffs. On 2nd and 10, it's Julius Jones. Look at the quickness of this freshman. Did he get in? Yes, touchdown. Well, mark it down, folks. This young man has a tremendous future. 190-pounder out of Big Stone Gap, Virginia. His first collegiate touchdown. 14 yards, and the corner seemed to be covered, but his speed.
And you see why the coaches say wow about him. Because you're right, everybody had the angle on him. There was just a slice of green grass to be able to use his burst and get in the end zone. He found it.
Try for point by Miller. And it is 41-0. 48 yards in 3 plays, and the Notre Dame alliteration. Jarius Jackson, he scores from 48, and now Julius Jones from 14. And it's a rout for the Irish. Yo, yo, yo. We're back at Notre Dame. A couple of Finlanders. They up there from Bemidji, Minnesota. And Sanson, little adrenaline on that kickoff.
Good for Jim Sanson. Good for him.
And a reminder, tonight at 7:30 Eastern, NBC brings you Game 3, the American League Division Series. The Yankees leading 2 games to none against the Rangers. At Texas they go. At 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on NBC. Atlanta and the Mets, they're all set for the National League pennant. And the Yanks leading 2-0. The Indians 2-0 in the American League Division Series. Be with us tonight at 7:30, 4:30 out in the West. Hand off to Flowers, and he kicks free from one tackle and spins out to the 30-yard line and close to a first down before Deke Cooper can make the tackle.
Bruce Snyder was talking to us this week about Devlin Flowers, number 3, saying hey, this guy is really learning how to become a tailback, but boy, is he good in those open space situations. We kind of designed plays for him, screen passes, pitch plays, and that was just one right there, kind of a sweep. Let him get out there in the corner.
10 yards and a first down. And looked like the center flinched on that one. And there was a movement by the defensive player, and they may be discussing whether or not that influenced the center.
Prior to the snap, offside defense. The defensive player penetrated the neutral zone, and then the offensive player reacted. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Bruce Snyder, we said we visited him, a very interesting guy, and some interesting stories about 1957 Rose Bowl.
As a young kid in Southern California, wanted to get to the Rose Bowl game. We'll get to that story after this handoff again to Flowers, getting outside. Look at the speed. Good, great moves. He's all the way to the Notre Dame 41-yard line. A terrific run of 24 yards for Delvon Flowers. Cooper and Jefferson make the tackle.
Yeah, you know, again, talking about those open space kind of plays that Bruce Snyder's designing for him. That was another one of them. Get him a little off tackle play, get him to the corner, the perimeter of the defense. Again, terrific speed. One of those 13 junior college transfers. Good field of vision and very good in that open field.
First down at the Notre Dame 41. Flowers again. Stop, start. Look at the moves. Weaving his way down to the 31 and nearly 10 more yards before Devron Harper can make the tackle. And this is against the first team defense for the Irish.
It looks a little bit like a politician at a fundraiser getting through this crowd. Big crowd. Good block on the left side. I think it was Todd Heap. Then LeVay, the right tackle, knocks his guy away. And good open field running once again by Flowers.
They're 10 yards. That's his average. Not this time as they gang up on him. Nix and Sanders and others for Notre Dame. We're talking about Snyder in that 1957 Rose Bowl parade. He said if you come and work, you get one free ticket. So he wanted to go see Oregon State and Iowa that game. So he said, I'll go. And they gave him the job driving one of the floats in the parade, where you're really driving almost blind. He said the float had a big bump in front of him, so he couldn't see anything. All they had to do was look down at the white stripe in the middle of Colorado Boulevard.
Didn't miss the game.
And Keeley throws to Flowers. Who else? And it's Clifford Jefferson dragging him down after another first down, another 10 yards for Flowers. Now, to complete the story, he said, fortunately for me, to prevent a very serious accident as I piloted the Salvation Army float, the float in front of us had a huge palm tree, so I could look up, even though I couldn't look out. And if I saw the palm tree, I applied the brakes.
You knew when to stop.
And then he said, I didn't count on it being 8 miles away from where I parked my car. By the time I got to it, it was too late. I went home and heard the second half on the radio. And it's Hightower trying to vault over the tackler Jefferson and brought down at the Irish 12-yard line. Flowers taking a breather after being used extensively on this drive.
To Greg Madison and Bob Davie, he's the defensive coordinator, Bob Davie the head coach. With a 41-0 lead, 7:40 remaining in the third quarter, all you're hoping to do now is get out of this game with any injuries. Without any injuries.
Both wide receivers left. Richard Williams with Tarek McDonald in the slot. And the give is inside to Davern Hightower, the junior from Dallas. And he's to the 10-yard line. And here comes the man, Delvin Flowers. And he has been impressive. Notre Dame coaches, when we talked with him, said wherever 3 is, we want our defense to point him out. And on film, he looked very impressive. And he's shown you some pretty good stuff here in this drive.
Yeah, they actually have one of their linebackers assigned when he comes into the ball game to let the rest of their defense know where he is.
Third down, a long 3. Flowers trying to get outside, tripped up by Johnny Sanders.
Well, what a game these safeties from Notre Dame have had. D. Cooper and all the turnovers. Johnny Sanders had one for a touchdown, and then the strong plays is over here on the right side.
Just did get him. That might have been a touchdown if he gets around Sanders. So at the 12-yard line, Arizona State down 41-0. Will go for it. 4th and 4. Keeley guns complete to Tarek McDonald. It'll be 1st and goal at the Irish 2-yard line. Clock stops on the first down with 6:12 left in this third quarter. Signals in the play. Point to the right eye and then pushing as if you had an air pump. What would that one be?
Hopefully a successful one that gets the ball in the end zone very quickly, down 41-0. Arnaz Battle warming up with the nice wristband.
Flowers has earned it. But he stopped cold right at the 2-yard line as Anthony Denman submarining in there to make the stop.
Anthony Denman was a highly recruited running back. Came in there with a class of 4 or 5 other running backs. Realized he wasn't going to get much of an opportunity to play running back. Switched to linebacker. Backed up Corey Minor a year ago and really has had a sensational year this season.
He's just a junior, only 19 years of age. He'll be 20 the day of the Navy game later this month. 2nd and goal. Keeley and caught by Heat, but not in the end zone. He's held out of there by Rocky Boyman, the sophomore linebacker from Cincinnati.
Rocky on Heat, and that's a good matchup. Rocky Boyman, number 30. His job today was to really rough up Heap at the line of scrimmage, but he was almost lined up as a wide receiver. Good hustling play by Heap, trying to do anything he can to get that ball in the end zone.
Ball now tickling the goal line at 3rd and goal. And it's dive by Gerald Green. Did he get in? Now the signal, touchdown. Gerald Green, the senior from Gilbert, Arizona. A walk-on. He's the most popular player on this Arizona State team, and he dives in for the score. His first touchdown of the season. He's a great story. You'll have a moment we'll tell you Green's story. Orphan all his life. One foster home to another. Baker's try for point. And he nails it through. 80 yards in 12 plays for Arizona State. Green with the payoff, but it was Delvin Flowers, the JC transfer, who made all the big yards. Notre Dame 41, Arizona State 7. Yeah, Sparky the Devil, Arizona State mascot. You can fill in the blanks at 41-7.
I've been doing a lot of push-ups.
4:41, finally a touchdown for the Devils. 80 yards in 12 plays with Gerald Green in from 1 yard out. With Mike Barth kicking off, the Irish have to be alert for a possible onsider. But he kicks it away. 1 yard deep to Terrence Howard. And Howard breaking a couple of tackles, but out to the 23-yard line. Let's see who comes in at quarterback for the Irish. It looks to be Jarius Jackson going to return.
Yeah, you know, I'm a bit surprised. I think this is the time of the game you get him out. You're up 41-7. I understand Arizona State had a nice drive there, but remember last year, the game before their USC game against was it LSU? He was hurt.
That's right, running out the clock in the end zone after when he took the safety, hurt his knee.
Yeah, couldn't play against Southern Cal. They lost a major bowl bid.
It was a multi-million-dollar injury. Tony Driver now the tailback. And he's caught in the backfield. Gives Adam Archuleta a ride, but only for a yard.
Tony Driver, I think, is a very unselfish player. I mean, he has played real well on special teams this year. This is number 25 for the Irish, a guy who came in as a very highly touted running back a few years ago. Played defense last year, actually saved the game against Purdue here. And this year, kind of been a spot player, scored some touchdowns, but been a very good special teams player.
Very good down on the goal line as well. Driver at 220 pounds out of Yale High School in Louisville, Kentucky. Jackson in trouble. Boy, does he take a hit at the 16-yard line. Eric Flowers, number 36, with a sack.
Bold to strike on that one. And again, that's why I think you get Jarius Jackson out, Dick. I mean, 41-7, 3 minutes left. With Flowers, with real good coverage. Absolutely nowhere to go. Good hustling play by Flowers off the backside.
He has his 4th sack of the season to lead Arizona State.
We have that peach cobbler now for Sunday dessert.
That won't taste quite as good.
No, you're right.
In light of the score. So second down. They get 3rd down and 18, and Notre Dame will use a timeout with 3:07 left in the 3rd quarter.
Well, one thing I wouldn't do is call the quarterback draw. I mean, ordinarily in a tight ball game, it's one of the plays Kevin Rogers likes so much. He's scratching off one of those plays on one of the 120 plays on his chart there.
Master sheet, and they even have it down. He was showing us how Brian Billick had ordered it. You know, there's a second and from what, 7 to 10?
Yep, 2nd and 10, second 7. You're right.
And here down the next one here, what's that?
It's 3rd and 11 plus, I think.
So they have all the possibilities in a range, and Brian Billick, when he was with the Vikings, broke it down as to how many times during the whole course of a season you would get plays in that range.
Absolutely.
And it's amazing how it matched what Notre Dame has done this year.
Yeah, he did a study. Brian Billick's study said you get about 30 first down plays in every ball game. You have about 75 plays in a game. And really, we looked at Notre Dame's chart yesterday, and that's about what they've averaged on first down. They've had 30 first down plays a game. And they've only had 4 third and 1 plays all season long.
And then that was the one stunning difference compared to the average, as J.R. REDMOND now jacket on, reduced to a cheerleader. Jackson tosses to Driver. Driver breaks a tackle, gets out across the 25, and a first down out of bounds at the 27-yard line.
Yeah, Archuleta, Adam Archuleta once more there to make a play. Archuleta, you know, at this point in the game, you know your team's not going to win, but boy, he has still continued to play very hard.
Well, not a first down. That was 3rd and 18, and while he picked up about 12. Not enough for the first down. So Joey Hillbold, and whoa, just does handle the snap, and then it's blocked. Picked up. And whoa, cartwheel, fumble, and I believe Notre Dame has the ball. Oh my. Now that just can't get worse than that for Arizona State. They get the block, they get the field position inside the 30, and then the big hit, and Nigel Eason, who picked up the ball, cartwheeled, fumbles, and Notre Dame recovered.
Notre Dame has had trouble with the snaps all year long. That's another bad snap. Dan O'Leary, as good a tight end as he is, has struggled. The ball was blocked by
Josh Amobi.
Yeah, Amobi. Eason is there to make the recovery. Turns it right back to the Irish. Is that 6 turnovers now?
That's right. Tony Driver is the man who is the right place at the right time to make the tackle. It appeared that, or make the recovery. Ron Israel, I believe, was the man who forced the ball free. Well, back on offense, Notre Dame. So finally, Arizona State with a good play. They get the block and then fumble it right back. Riley and Archuleta with a tackle after a gain of about 1.5 yards. 2:30 left in the third. The Irish well out in front, 41-7. Coach Snow, and he's from where?
Oh, Winters, California.
You're not making that up.
No, absolutely.
He's from Winters.
Yeah.
2nd and 9.
Too sharp.
To the 30-yard line. Couple yards for Joey Goodspeed, and Eric Flowers and others make the tackle.
Well, this is Arizona State's first trip here to South Bend, and most teams who come into Notre Dame Stadium for the very first time have not fared well.
Look at Jackson's numbers. In fact,
boy, pretty good day today. Won easily last year, 28-7. He's averaging almost 25 yards per completion.
Last time a team won on their first trip here was 1981, Florida State. Oh, what a gun. Jackson firing to Joey Getherall. Oh, you better catch that. That'll put a hole in your chest.
They may have to surgically remove that from Joey Getherall's chest tonight.
13 yards.
You know, everything has worked for the Irish and Jarius Jackson. I mean, the confidence, the thing that I've appreciated about Jackson this year, again, a couple of weeks ago, that this team was struggling, but he never seemed to lose his confidence. You know, Dick? He never seemed to lose it. A lot of people lost some confidence in him, but never he in himself.
Well, that reflected the confidence of the entire team to make him the solo captain of this 99 Irish team. Handoff inside and battling as Tony Driver through tacklers all the way out to midfield. A gain of almost 7 yards before Alfred Williams at safety can make the tackle, and Tom Lipinski with some ice on that right hand going to the Notre Dame locker room.
He threw a nice block for Julius Jones when Jones scored earlier. Looks like a fullback too, doesn't he?
Sure does. So Goodspeed in at fullback. 2nd and 3. Driver skips out of one tackle, but they have him corralled. Flag flies as he's dropped for a loss.
There's 34 seconds remaining in this third quarter. I'll be very surprised if Jarius Jackson plays into the fourth quarter.
Ryan Riley, key tackler on that last play, and here's the penalty. Holding Notre Dame.
You know, there was a hold, but this offensive line has come a long way the last 2 weeks for the Irish. Black, Jones, Brandy, Gandy, Teasdale. They use a lot of Sean Mahan and Kurt Vollers at tackles as well. These guys have done a pretty good job. Led by 64 John Morandi.
It's quite remarkable, isn't it, that there's Morandi from Rim of the World High School.
Holding on the offense, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat, 2nd down.
The Fighting Scots from Blue Jay, California, and that alone is all the way to Notre Dame as a starter. And then Ken Williamson was a year behind Morandi, same high school as the starting center today for Arizona State.
You and I have both been up to Rim of the World. It is not a large community.
That's quite a stunning 2 major university centers starting. Of course, Morandi's son of a coach. His dad, Mike, ex-head coach at Citrus Junior College out there in Southern California. 2nd and 14. Jackson with 12 seconds left in the third quarter. And he runs it down to the 49-yard line, where it'll be third down and about 4. And that will be the end of the third period here at Notre Dame Stadium. Fans try to entertain themselves. The wave is on. Bob Davie likes what he sees. The Irish 41, the Sun Devils 7. And we'll return after these words from your local station. Traditional 18-12 after the third quarter here at Notre Dame in front of the Irish student body. The assistant drum major is leading the way. I want to do that.
Yeah, we're going to give you a chance.
Tony Driver, and he dives to the 46, and that looks to be good enough for a first down as we open this fourth quarter. Dick Enberg, Pat Hayden, Paul Sunderland down on the field. Jim Bell debuting in Notre Dame as our producer, and John Gonzalez on his way to Milano for that McDonald's Classic next weekend.
What size jacket do you wear? Just did you remind Gonzo your size?
Oh, when he's over there in Italy, yeah, they do have good leather. They have nice leather.
Now, aren't you surprised 41-7 Jarius Jackson's doing the ball game? I think, they really ought to take him out of the ball game.
Well, they want Battle to get some battle duty, and this would be an ideal time as Tony Driver and Art Gilletta continues his tough defensive play with a loss. And we talked about Paul Sunderland. He has this report.
Well, everybody's concerned about Jarius Jackson's health, and it can happen away from the ball or in a pile. And fullback Tom Lipinski, still in the football game, got stepped on. His left hand came over, was looked at by the medical staff on the Notre Dame sideline, and they were enough concerned to take him in for x-rays. We'll get you a further report as soon as that's available.
Somewhere in that
right down here.
mass.
Yep.
Second down and 12 now for the Irish at the 49 of Arizona State. And the quick toss to Driver, and not much there, a couple yards. A good play made by Courtney Jackson. Jackson in his 28th consecutive start for the Sun Devils, going all the way back to his freshman year. Played in the Rose Bowl against Ohio State, and in fact there's a moment he would like to forget, but yet he reminds himself that David Boston beat him for a touchdown. He has the picture on his wall to say, hey, can't let that happen.
Well, every corner is going to be beaten. I think it's how you respond to that adversity. And if you're afraid of being beaten, you can't play out there. And he's had 4 good years. He has been beaten a couple of times, but he's had a great career at Arizona State. And you have to have the confidence to get up the next play and make a play.
So 3rd and 10 for the Irish. And out of the shotgun, Jarius Jackson screens it. We haven't seen this very often. Terrence Howard, and Howard running through a tackle as a first down at the 31-yard line. Nigel Eason made the stop. 15 on the play.
Good point, Jake. I have not seen a screenplay out of Notre Dame this year.
And it works effectively on 3rd and long.
Again, you wonder how much some of this is making their next opponent, Southern Cal, defend another type of play. Gandy out front, who's had a real good game. Mike Gandy, all 300 pounds of him. Kevin Rogers given, not only ASU, but his next opponent a lot to worry about.
First down at the Devil 31-yard line. You look at Jarius Jackson now at 192 yards, 4 less than his counterpart for Arizona State, but Keeley with 3 interceptions today. Julius Jones, the freshman, short yardage, maybe a yard. As we remind you tonight, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. Game 3, the New York Yankees at the Texas Rangers. Yankees needing one more. They got Roger Clemens going against the men from Texas as they try to sweep out the Rangers. Let's see what Texas has to say about it at 7:30 tonight. Boy, that Pudge catcher for Texas. What a player he is. He plays behind the plate like a shortstop. Too bad the Mets don't have a good shortstop. If they ever get the guy that can really feel they're going to be tough. What a play last night.
Oh, unbelievable. Yeah.
Second down and 9. Jackson on top. Knocked away from Bobby Brown. Good play by Nigel Eason, a junior from Long Beach, California. Long Beach City College and Wilson High School in that city that's produced so many Great players.
Terrific timing. Eason going stride for stride with Bobby Brown. Turns his head at the right moment. As soon as he sees the receiver turn, he turns. Knocks it away with his right hand. That is so hard to do, to time it that well, but perfectly done by Eason.
That's something he'll want to save that tape. You can't do it any better. 11:40 left in the fourth quarter. The Irish third down and long, 9 to go at the 31-yard line.
We're going to use a timeout. A little confusion.
A second timeout by a team leading 41-7. Irish and the Southern California Trojans next Saturday here on NBC, and it'll be Arizona State going up to Seattle to play the Washington Huskies. Now, Bob Davie, I mean, all coaches are superstitious, but Davie's pretty right up there top of the list. I mean, when we talk to him, we have to sit in the same chairs every week in his office, and he told a story this week. He said that got this yellow tie with elephants on it, yellow and blue, the colors of Notre Dame, from Bernadette Wadsworth, the wife of Mike Wadsworth, the athletic director, and he said it was last week, so they won, so he's going to wear it again this week. And he said, I might be wearing this all year long if we keep winning, and you know, those jumbos on there, I'm going to feed him peanuts.
Well, his wife Joanne dresses him every day.
Well, lays out the clothes.
Lays out the clothes. Yeah, lays out the clothes.
Actually, can put on the shirt and everything himself. But
thank you for that clarification.
Please help him out. Well, he might be in a tuxedo if they could get through that schedule. And nothing easy about SC and Tennessee, that's for certain. Boston College finally lost today. They lost to Temple.
Stanford's an improved football team, and remember, Jarius Jackson said to us last week, we want to get into that Tennessee game 5-3. They win today. They've won 2 in a row and get some to even 3-3 record.
Those records, of course, on that graphic were prior to today's action. Jackson with a scramble, then the throw wide open is Getherall. No, it's Jay Johnson. Jay Johnson keeps the ball, loses the helmet, touchdown.
The official thought perhaps maybe he took off the helmet, which is a penalty in college football. Went and checked. It was, removed as part of the play, so no penalty on Jay Johnson.
Well, a senior from Starkville, Mississippi. That is his first collegiate touchdown, and that'll taste good.
You know, even when you have Jarius Jackson pretty well defended, you don't. I mean, Ryan Riley had a real clean shot at him. He avoided Riley's rush. Finds Johnson down the field. The Irish score their 47th point.
And Miller's extra point try is good.
They're never easy around here, are they, these extra points?
Down the middle. What happened to split the uprights?
On the run, a great throw by Jarius Jackson. His 4th touchdown pass. He's close to that 240-yard mark 5 games in a row.
Back at Notre Dame, happier times for the Irish, leading 48-7. 4 touchdown throws for Jarius Jackson. He's completed only 10, but averaging 22.3 yards a throw. 223 yards, 17 from that 240 mark. Sanson's kick short at the 13. Gerald Green, and he's out across the 30 with a blocker and fights his way to the 40-yard line. Green, we told you earlier, it's a wonderful story. He's a walk-on, the most popular player in the team. Dad was deceased, mom in prison, lived his youth in foster homes, and at 15, his high school coach and his counselor married so that they could adopt him. And he's a fine student, a senior.
He's going to graduate.
Terrific talent, and last year had 416 yards rushing, has the touchdown today. New quarterback is John Leonard in, and Flowers the ball carrier for a couple of yards, and Ryan Roberts and Anthony Denman make the tackle.
You know, those stories to me, Dick, are more revealing and more important than, you know, guys winning All-America honors and Heisman Trophy winners. I mean, it's really a story, a great story, and a testament to his fortitude, getting through school, graduating under very adverse circumstances.
It's amazing the resiliency and the power of the human being to overcome so much and succeed.
2nd down and 8. Leonard completes to Heap. And he has his 9th catch today and a first down at the 50-yard line. Boyman and Jefferson make the tackle. One more catch and he matches his total of the first 4 games.
Well, Bruce Snyder called him a retriever, not really a receiver. He just kind of retrieves the ball. When the ball's in the air, he thinks it's his.
He's got blonde hair, so what do you think?
Golden retriever. I was there.
Boy, if I could have only gotten that Rhodes Scholarship. First down, Leonard searches and no one open. Good job of eluding the rush and then throws complete to Derek McDonald and a first down inside the Irish 40, 38-yard line, 12 on the play. Let's talk about John Leonard. He's a sophomore from Huntington Beach, California. If you look at Ryan Keeley and Jarius Jackson, Leonard went to El Camino College, junior college. He and Delvin Flowers were teammates, in fact. Dreamed of playing at Notre Dame.
Wow, great high school career. Modern day, a Catholic high school in Southern California.
You see how quick off the blocks Green is, and he's inside the 35 to the 33. Another footnote on Green, African American, and the counselor and the coach are Caucasian who adopt him, so really an intriguing family. And the fact that needless to say that big 4-letter word love has a lot to do with success in life, doesn't it?
Well, it was the home that he grew up in, the shelter that he grew up in. The roof blew off in a storm not recently and brought 100 of those young kids to an Arizona State game.
Yeah, they worked it through a charity in order, the NCAA rules looking for whatever.
Yeah. And
made sure that all those kids who could understand more than him the travails of wondering if you're wanted by anybody. So with 9:22 left, the flag thrown at the line of scrimmage, the 34. And against Notre Dame was the point.
Offside, defense. 5-yard penalty, repeat, second down.
Let's go down to Paul. What's the word on Lipinski?
Well, fullback who left the game a while ago after getting his right hand stepped on has been taken inside, x-rays, and good news looking more towards next week against the USC Trojans, longtime rival of Notre Dame. Those x-rays were negative. Available to go back in the game today, but probably won't see him. Back to you guys.
All right, Paul. 2nd and 1. Pumped by Leonard, and then he throws an infield fly ball, and it lands on the back of the Irish defender. Intended downfield.
Yeah, it was
Tarek McDonald, and it was Clifford Jefferson entangled with the receiver. When you throw those balls up there for grabs, I think they automatically encourage more contact, and the officials tend not to throw the flag.
You're right. The corner Jefferson got his head turned. It's not pass. It almost looked like a punt. It was thrown so high. Jefferson up top here gets his head turned. They're not going to call pass interference for you on you when you get your head turned.
If anything, it was McDonald initiating more contact. So on 3rd and 1, it's to Hightower, and he has the first down. Carlos Pierre-Antoine now playing in the middle. The linebacker makes the tackle. And Ronnie Nix has been injured earlier this year with an ankle at Michigan, finally returning in this game, playing well and shaking a bit. He'll come out.
He got a start. He was the one that caused the first turnover. Got a helmet on the ball when J.R. Redmond was running, and D. Cooper made the recovery.
First down, Arizona State at the Irish 27. Hightower for a yard. And another good surge by the young Irish players. Pierre-Antoine got the wrestling hold on him, but Ryan Roberts was there to slow down progress.
He also got some help from Anthony Brandon, number 8 of the Irish, one of those walk-ons that are such great stories around here at Notre Dame. Actually, was a walk-on, but was given a scholarship a year ago. There he is, number 8, Brandon.
Cedar Grove, New Jersey. Here's Flowers. Wow, running through tackles. And this young man is really going to be a compliment to J.R. Redmond the rest of this season.
Yeah, we'll probably replace him next year as the featured back. Good receiver, good runner. I mean, this is great experience for him because Bruce Snyder says, hey, there's Redmond, the captain, the leader of this team. in a lot of ways, not just as a runner. A very unselfish player is J.R. Redmond, but Flowers has a chance to be a really dynamic player for the Sun Devils over the next 2 years.
Averaging 6.4 today. Coming into the game with 7.3 average. So give him the ball a couple of times, you have a first down. And the flag down at this midpoint of the fourth quarter.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
I thought Bruce Snyder said something kind of interesting to us this week. You know, he envisions today, his whole offensive line weighs over 300 pounds. And he told us this week that he envisions a day during his coaching career when offensive linemen will weigh 400 pounds. He says not too distant future. He's got a bunch of 330s that he's redshirting.
First and 15. Flowers, no hole, tries to reverse, now goes back the other way. And finally staggered out of bounds on a hit from Devron Harper. In fact, didn't he say that they don't even look at high school players that are under 260 pounds? I mean, linemen under 260?
Absolutely. You know, and look what at 1970, you know, they went 11-0. They were 6'2", 222 pounds, almost 100 pounds more a man in 1999.
That's the offensive line. Well, it's rare that you see an offensive lineman in the 260s.
You're right.
That would have been a few years ago about as big as they got. Second and 11.
100 pounds.
Underneath and drop by Richard Williams. That's maybe look trying to run before the ball was there.
Well, he's got a young offensive lineman, does Bruce Snyder, named Ryan Delnos on his team. Is one of those types, you know, kind of a 250, 255, 260 guy that just can't get to 300. Son of a great Arizona State player, Tom Delnos, years ago.
Nothing like an easy win. Those faces in the Irish crowd. 48-7 Notre Dame. Leonard in trouble, and Joe Farrar logs the sack.
He's played pretty well, Joe Farrar, today. His best game of the season.
It's the first sack today for the Irish. And the clock running is it brings up fourth down and about 21.
Field goal attempt, it appears.
Stephen Baker in there, the left-footed kicker. Brother John was a place kicker at Arizona State. And a 55-yarder in high school is his long is 48 yards at ASU. This one 45. Plenty of leg. And it is good. 6:39 left in the fourth quarter. Notre Dame leads by 38. Trojans and the Irish next week. Always a great battle. At the 35, they got it teed up, and Notre Dame looking for the onside kick as the number 3 quarterback for Arizona State, Griffin Goodman, who threw the winning touchdown to beat UCLA in the final seconds last week. He's tuning up. 10 men crowding around the 50-yard line, and they kick it away. Joey Getherall, the only deep man, he fields it at the 10. Whoops. Now he's got some blockers.
Oh, those Bishop-Lamont Lancers are tough, aren't they?
Especially the little ones.
Yeah. A lot of those.
Even at quarterback. Well, here's a little quiz for you,
okay.
Pat. Now,
all right.
You tell me who this. There have been many famous Arizona State football players.
Sal Bando.
Not Sal Bando, but you're close. Mr. October. 1977, 3 homers in a game for the famed Yankee and Oakland A's and California Angel star.
Yeah, consumed part of the calendar, right?
He was recruited, Reggie Jackson, as a football player. Didn't play football, of course, was a top star. And Sal Bando was on the same team.
I knew Sal Bando was in there somewhere. Yeah.
Well, let's see. Tonight, 7:30, 4:30 in the West. The Yankees and the Texas Rangers not too far off. Game 3, Rangers need to win to keep alive. The Yankees taking the 2 games in the Bronx.
Arnaud's battle is in with 6 minutes remain in the ball game.
Jarius Jackson's day apparently complete, and Tom Lipinski's back in. That's a real young backfield. Terrence Howard with the toss, and he's out to the 43-yard line. Tackled by Brandon Faulkner. Backup safety from Peoria, Arizona. That's the side of Seattle, and the Padres have their training camp in March in Peoria outside of Phoenix.
You know who's in for the Irish now?
Reggie Jackson.
No. Jonathan Hebert. Remember he told you love those walk-on guys, Dick?
Number 48.
Number 48. There he is. Blocked a punt a couple of weeks ago, and 3.7 student in engineering, has a part-time job, does everything for him. A wishbone quarterback in practice.
To give to Lipinski and the entire center of that Arizona State line waiting for the fullback. That's a wonderful part. It's not just Notre Dame. It's every school program has walk-ons, and I don't know how you can help the audience to appreciate how very difficult it is. I mean, the kids that are on scholarship, they love to play, but they are rewarded for their talent. But walk-ons, you go out and you get beaten up by the big guy. Usually you're smaller, slower, and you're not very well protected. But you come back and you take more and more and more. And what was it that Snyder said about going to Army last year to talk with their coach Sutton?
Yeah, he talked to Bob Sutton, the head coach at Army. He said, you know, you really get your morale and your leadership from your scout team.
Those usually are your walk-ons or your freshmen that aren't playing. And Terrence Howard, the sophomore, he has a first down at the Arizona State 44-yard line, another 11 yards. And that Hebert block, let's check him out.
A powerful block by Jonathan Hebert. I mean, he didn't get a chance to play a lot, but when he does, he's going to give you everything he has. You know, Bob Davie, as Bruce Snyder does, they kind of give a walk-on player a scholarship every year. He doesn't have one yet. His parents are waiting anxiously.
Well, he's got that terrier-type perseverance, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Good hands. First down at the 44.
Well, big cushion on Hebert over there.
And look, you're talking about walk-ons. How about tiny Tim O'Neill? Tim O'Neill at 5 feet. What is he, 4 inches tall?
We lost him in the grass.
And Coach Davie said, I'm going to give him a chance. If ever there was a Rudy, this is the Rudy of 1999.
Teammates love him.
Troy, Michigan. Look at how small he is.
He looks up to Joey Getterall.
Playing tailback for the Irish. Oh, keep this tape up there in Michigan. This is going to be something that'll get bigger and bigger as the years go on. He's a sophomore. Gets it again. Burrows his way to the 40-yard line.
Well, they list him as 5'5", don't they? I'm not so sure. He shares the number 35 with the new kicker, David Miller.
That tells you when you're a walk-on, you don't have your own number. All right, let's hear it for him. Tim O'Neill. Well, boy, wait till he gets to the dormitory tonight. A powerful submarining, surging effort to the 40-yard line for O'Neill. 3rd down and 6. How can they take him up? 163 from Troy, Michigan. Terrence Howard now the tailback, and it's Howard to the 37-yard line. It'll be about 3 shy of a first down as the clock runs under the 3-minute mark, and the Irish here probably will run another play.
You know, the Irish have all, second, third teamers in, but you notice they have a second-team center named Jeff Fain, number 52, who they're not inserting at this point. They would love to save him this year and not play him if they can get away. They don't officially redshirt. They grant guys 50 years. I guess it's another way of saying it.
The word is out on Fain. F-A-I-N-E. He's a 292-pound freshman from Sanford, Florida. They say he's got All-America written all over him. Oh, slipping and falling is Fisher.
They're bringing
Tony Fisher.
They're bringing Tiny Tim back in, right?
And taking over on downs, the Arizona State Sun Devils. Well, it was the Tim O'Neill series. We'll take a break. 48-10. And welcome back. Notre Dame Stadium, and some of the crowd heading toward the exits as Notre Dame has secured their 3rd win of the year, 48-10. A very impressive showing, especially by the Irish defense against a high-powered Arizona State attack. Short changed, however, with J.R. REDMOND nauseous today. Griffin Goodman is the quarterback, and short yardage on first down. And today's Chevrolet players of the game are, for Arizona State, Todd Heap, Mesa's Mount View High School, and Jarius Jackson Tupelo Mississippi High School for Notre Dame, with an assist from Tim O'Neill. In recognition of their effort, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund, and beginning this year, Chevrolet donates $1,000 to the 2 high schools as well.
Does he play Tiny Tim in the Scrooge at Christmas?
I don't think so. Not now. The throw is complete. And it's Brian Forth, his first catch today, the senior, redshirt senior from Yorba Linda, California. 11 yards and a first down. Went to Esperanza High School in Anaheim, California.
Hey, how about Griffin Goodman? You mentioned he threw that winning touchdown pass last week against UCLA, and it's a walk-on. Really, it was a high school tight end. Then he moved to quarterback, started the spring last year as the 6th team quarterback for the Sun Devils, and had a good game last week.
And he hands off to Gerald Green, and Green sprinting into the open and finally bumped out of bounds at the Notre Dame 34-yard line. As Jerome Sapp able to make the tackle. It's a first down for the Devils with 1:18 left in this fourth quarter. 18 yards on the run by Green. Andy Wisney jogs onto the field at defensive tackle for the Irish, as Bob Davie giving some of the players who haven't had a lot of work a chance to play here late. And a flag down. That's usually procedure against the offense.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Well, tonight, game 3 of the American League Division Series, the Yankees and Roger Clemens against the Rangers of Texas, and you can be sure the Texas fans are going to be there with their voices tonight. Try to pull their Rangers back into this one. One game from elimination. That's at 7:30, 4:30 in the West. Goodman into the flat, and it's Green. And Gerald Green breaks one tackle and steps out of bounds at the 20-yard line of Notre Dame. Another 18-yard gain as you look at the final results coming in. Some partials. Well, what a game at East Lansing today. 2 of the Notre Dame opponents, both of whom defeated the Irish. Michigan State prevails 34-31. That had, you can imagine, I was up in Michigan after the game last week. I mean, everybody talking. I mean, you got the Spartans fans, you got the Wolverines, and so the green and white for Michigan State. They'll have bragging rights for the rest of this year.
Nice to see them both up. You know, it's usually one or the other.
The Spartans remain unbeaten, 6-0. And the throw away from the intended target. Ryan Denard, Preston Denard, the former wide receiver with the Rams and Buffalo, Green Bay. That's his son, sophomore at Arizona State.
And you know, I'm sorry, Dick, you know, for Bruce Snyder and his team, long trip back to Phoenix, obviously, tonight. And I think he finds himself and his team in the same position that Bob Davie did a few weeks ago, a team that's killing itself with turnovers. They have to eliminate those first if they're going to have any chance for a Rose Bowl run, and they still can't get into the Rose Bowl picture.
Goodman to Green, who vaults to the 16-yard line. We're in the final minute, as you see.
Only one conference loss for ASU.
They're 1-1. A big win over UCLA. They lost to Cal, and thus far, no one's really established themselves as the team to beat in the Pac-10.
Yeah, I can't remember how long it's been. Only one team from the Pac-10 is in the top 25. Pac-10 is really down this year.
Yeah, we'll take a break here. 58 seconds left in this fourth quarter.
Okay. Excuse me.
Sounds like a good idea to me.
Time permitting.
Palindromic, isn't it? Palindromic to go back to New York.
Ooh. Wow.
See, you didn't think I knew
No,
those.
I'm multi-syllabic.
profanity.
Sheesh. Did you say you're from Scandinavia? I didn't know any Scandinavian guys that did that.
There is the longest, in fact, palindromic name in the history of any word. Finn is like a 20-word name. It's palindromic.
And how many vowels? One of those, what do you call those things? The
Umflauts. That's what we need, you know,
Yeah,
Saturday night.
I thought it was a kind of a cockeyed colon. Yes, right.
I'm not giving you 2 plugs. I can't give you 2. Come on. What do you want, man? Getting greedy. You got 2. That'd be 3. That'd be 3.
Get that Azula.
Give me a Super Bowl. Hey, I don't see me doing any Super Bowls lately.
Get him those nice jackets.
Great TV timeout at 58 seconds. Give me up here. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Air Force did beat Navy 1914. I don't know how the Ghost can hold that position that long. I mean, I can barely get out of bed. And look, they just stay in that same position. Unbelievable.
Synchronized.
And welcome back to Notre Dame Stadium. The Irish are high today, 48-10. 58 seconds to go. Arizona State trying to get a cosmetic score. Throw underneath the high tower, knocked out of bounds, hit the 5 by Carlos Pierre-Antoine. Stops the clock, 53 seconds. It'll be first and goal for Arizona State.
You get the feeling that Pierre-Antoine, number 2, is going to be a pretty good player for the Irish over the years. Only a sophomore, great special teams player, now calling defensive signals, 240 pounds, and he can move.
All just outside the 5, first and goal. Ryan Denard to the right, Brian Forth to the left. Goodman to throw to the goal line, touchdown. And it's to Brian Jennings, the snapper for Arizona State and backup tight end. His first catch of the year is for a touchdown.
Well, Bruce Snyder said, hey, this guy is a great long snapper. He'll have an NFL career as a kick snapper. But he says, you know, I really want to, he wants to get in, play more on regular downs. He says, no, you're too valuable as a snapper. But, boy, that was a pretty good catch on the right side of the screen. They look like Todd Heap on that one, didn't he?
That's right. Watch this snap coming up by Jennings. He gets it back. We watched him in practice on Wednesday. He gets it back there with any NFL snapper. I mean, it's a bullet. Boom. And the extra point by Baker is good.
And that's one of the reasons the Irish have struggled a little bit in their extra point kicking game, because they don't have that kind of velocity on the snaps.
So the Arizona State Sun Devils apply a 7 to the score. It looks a little better in the headlines tomorrow morning, 48-17.
It's not going to feel any better for these players, Arizona State players, and to Bruce Snyder. And again, really absolutely killed themselves with 5 turnovers. Yes, the Irish played well, but boy, I guess it ended up being 6 turnovers on the day for Arizona State.
Now the rallying cry for Bruce Snyder through his years of coaching has been 1 at a time, and he's even copyrighted the phrase 1 at a time, and he's really going to have to apply it, isn't he, as he goes ready for Washington next week. Such a tough job. I mean, just so easy for fans to sit back and pick the coaches apart and forget that a couple of years ago you were in the Rose Bowl.
Yep.
And blame it all on one man. And probably no one blames it more on any one man than Snyder himself.
No, he's been successful at a variety of places, and their success trails him. You know, obviously a tough day today, but been in the Rose Bowl, had a good year at Cal, had them in the top 10 one year.
Here's the onside kick, at least anticipated by the Irish. Well done. Knocked down and out of bounds it goes. Donald Dykes was the man, number 28, who got a hand on it for Notre Dame.
You know, a year ago, Jarius Jackson scored on a play like that. They had him up in the up front, and I think it was against Pittsburgh. Picked up an onside kick and went 45 yards into the end zone.
Yeah, there was a moment there where it appeared there was an opportunity for Notre Dame. That says it all for Arizona State. Wide receiver Brian Forth. So running back Devin Hightower. Now Notre Dame to run out the clock with Arnaz Battle. And they'll just kneel down here. And they'll have to execute that difficult play one more time, and this one's over. Time to join the celebration, players with fans, at least on the Notre Dame side of the field.
Well, for Bob Davie, a week ago, a determined win coming from behind to beat Oklahoma. This a completely different type of game where I thought his defense was absolutely magnificent today.
Jarius Jackson continues as the man in this Notre Dame team as the quarterback and captain. He carried the team in the second half to that win against Oklahoma, and he had 3 touchdown passes and a long run of over 40 yards for another score to lead the offense 48-17. So Bob Davie's Irish are back even at 3-3 with Southern Cal coming to town next week, and Arizona State falls to 2-3. Paul Sunderland making his way toward Bob Davie, and we'll get his reaction. Paul?
Well, Coach, easy on the scoreboard, but you never, particularly back to halftime, seem relaxed. You've always been about this team improving and getting better each and every week. That's why you were so intense with this team on the sideline.
It's hard. You know, we told our team at halftime, you know, you learn from your mistakes. And how much you learn is directly proportional to how much you had to pay for making those mistakes. And we said you don't have to learn every lesson the hard way. If you take this back a week ago, Oklahoma at halftime, we had moved the football on Oklahoma, but we were behind because we did some silly things. And I didn't think the game was a whole lot different than that. Arizona State had 230-some yards at halftime on us, but we had created some turnovers, and we really didn't play very well in the first half. So I told them, learn a lesson from Oklahoma last week because we knew this team was explosive and come back on us.
You talked about being one play away from having a lot of momentum. You stayed with a lot of your first guys, including Jarius Jackson, after the game was basically decided. Was that to continue the momentum towards next week against USC?
Well, I wasn't sure we did the right thing at the end of the first half. You know, we missed an extra point to make it 27-0 instead of 28. Then we brought Arnaz in the next series, and we couldn't move the ball. And I just didn't want to let that momentum slip away, so we played into the third quarter.
All right, Bob, congratulations. A little leeway today. We'll see you next week. Back up to you, Dick.
All right, Paul. Notre Dame did not turn it over. Arizona State 6 turnovers, and that led to the Irish 48-17 win here before 80,000 at Notre Dame Stadium. Fighting Irish of Notre Dame return to NBC next week as they hope USC at 2:30 Eastern Time. And tune in tonight starting at 7:30 Eastern as the New York Yankees take on the Texas Rangers. Game 3 of the American League Division Series. 7:30 Eastern and 4:30 Pacific. For Pat Hayden and Paul Sunderland, this is Dick Enberg.